Hey everyone, it's Jen with Timeline Tarot. I'm not feeling all that well today. However, I was called to do this reading for you. So this is what the divine would like you to focus on at this time. Make sure my mic is on. It is. Okay. I'm going to begin with Aries, work my way around the zodiac wheel here, ending at Pisces. Timestamps, as always, will be in the description box. I've set the intention of this reading to be for your sun, moon, rising, as well as your Venus placements. So be sure to check all 4 of those placements out so you can get a better, more like personalized reading for yourself. If you're not sure what your placements are, also in the description box is a link where you can obtain your free birth chart. Take a look at that site and then just come back here and click on the timestamp for the respective placement or placements that you wish to view. Keep in mind, my friends, this is a collective general reading. It is not individualized nor personalized to you, and therefore messages may come through today that do not fully resonate. And if that happens, please don't get upset. It just means that one message is intended for someone else of your sign or your sign's placement. So just take what fits, how it fits, leave what doesn't. And of course, if you would like a live face-to-face Zoom tarot reading with yours truly, please visit my website, thetimelinetarot.com, for more information. With all of that said, let's begin. Hello, Aries. Let's see what the divine would like you to focus on at this time. We have romantic connection. Tell me more about this romantic connection for Aries. Now, Aries, if this is not your reading, then you're welcome to view one of your other placements, Sun, Moon, Rising, as well as Venus. But for those of you interested in a romantic connection, or if you currently are in one, let's see what the divine would like you to focus on. Tell me more about this romantic connection. Okay, almost saw the Eight of Cups. Tell me more about this romantic connection for Aries, Sun, Moon, Rising, as well as Venus. What do they need to know about romantic connection? One more shuffle now. Thank you. We have the Empress. We have the Eight of Wands. We have the Three of Cups. And we have the Star card. Oh my God. Bottom of the deck, we've got the Sun. We have the Seven of Pentacles. We've got the Five of Cups. And then we've got the Devil. Aries, I feel like this is specifically for those of you where you already have you either already have a partner or you already have your sights on an individual that you believe could be your partner or could be a very good partner to you. Take it how it resonates. For some of you, this Empress is an individual that you're already with. And for others of you, the Empress is an individual that you want to be with. There's something here about you moving forward towards happiness. So if you currently have this person in your life, the message here is for you to move forward and to communicate with this individual, maybe bring a little bit more love into the connection, a little bit more flirtiness, a little bit more celebration, dates, going out together. There could be a need here for you to again, I feel like bring a little love into the connection. This will help heal the connection and possibly even take it to a higher level of commitment. For those of you where the Empress is an individual, and it could be Emperor, I don't read body parts, but maybe for some of you, like you're single or something like that, you have your eye on this person, then your advice here is to move towards this individual and have a discussion with them about, asking them out on a date or to an event or to the movies or to the concert, because Three of Cups could be like celebration, going out, having a good time together, getting to know one another. So there's something like that for the Aries collective. So if you're currently in a connection, have a discussion with your partner about how to introduce or reintroduce maybe some fun things the two of you can do together to enhance the connection or heal the connection. And for those of you where you have, your sights kind of set on someone, there needs to be a discussion here about like asking them out on a date or something like that. For those of you where you're single, but there's an individual here from your past even that maybe you do want to reconnect, you want to heal this connection, you want to have reconciliation, then this message is telling you to move forward with this person and have a conversation with them about reconciliation and healing the differences, between you and them. Kind of want to know what the Devil to the Five of Cups is here, because this is fantastic energy. This is healing and happiness and love and a divine counterpart. And then it's almost like the happiness of this, 10 of Cups, 10 of Pentacles, is sort of being eclipsed by something here that's not feeling good, right? The Devil to the Five of Cups is emotional lack. So let me see what is going on here. Tell me more about the Devil here for Aries. What is this Devil? One more shuffle. Thank you. The Devil is the Six of Cups, the Page of Pentacles, and the Knight of Swords. Why is the Five of Cups here? Why is the Five of Cups here? One more shuffle here, please, and thank you. The Five of Cups is the Seven of Wands, the High Priestess, and the Knight of Cups. Bottom of the deck, Four Pentacles, Nine of Cups, Six of Swords. Okay, I'm going to clarify. I'm going to clean up this message now that I have these cards, because I feel like I was just introduced to a new category of Aries and Aries placements. So Aries, if you're single and you have your eye on someone, move towards them, ask them out on a date, be bold, be brave. For God's sakes, you're the Emperor in Tarot. Don't let any doubts, fears, and insecurities you have because of a past connection or connections you had that, you know, left you feeling not good enough and left you with a broken heart. Like, don't block your heart to this new, you know, from this new person because of your past experiences here with other soulmate or soul bond connections who maybe didn't communicate well with you or offered you very little in love or didn't really invest in the connection fully. So don't let your past here basically hold you back from this person. Again, if you already have your sights on them. For those of you where this person is already your partner and there's been, I don't know what this is here for some of you, third party interference, drugs, alcohol, addictions. If you really want to reconcile with this individual, whether that toxicity was on your part or theirs, there's a need here for you to communicate with this individual about what transpired. Be very open and honest here. It's like open your heart up. This person needs to open up their heart up as well. And the two of you very well then can come together. There is room here for reconciliation and healing. I have a group of you where you are separated from this person, but you see them as your divine counterpart. Something got in the way here of the connection. It could have been a terrible argument. It could have been that one of you felt that your emotional needs were not met, but there was something, some level of toxicity that occurred here that caused a break in the connection. If your heart really longs for this person, this would be the opportune time for you to communicate with this individual that you want to heal the connection with them and reconcile. And then I have that fourth group of you. And the fourth group of you is you have two people. You have an individual who is a soulmate, soul bond connection, and you know, to some degree or some level here in the Six of Cups, but you give very little to this connection. You give Page of Pentacles, and you communicate on very basic. It's almost like you've kind of friend zoned this person, but they're still in your life for some reason. You're not emotionally fulfilled in this connection. You're very guarded against this person. I do think that you care about this person and you may even love them. And with that Seven of Pentacles, you may have spent, you know, a good amount of time with this individual, but you have someone else here. And this is the person you long to be with. And this is the person that you see as wish fulfillment. And if that's your story, there's a need here for you to close out this connection. If that's what you're truly desiring. And I'm not telling you, if that's your story, I'm not telling you anything you don't know. Because in the High Priestess, that's the secret in your heart of hearts. Knight of Cups to the High Priestess. It's like, my love for this other person resides right in here. And I protect it. Seven of Wands. No one knows about it. And I'm also very guarded. So even though I'm still engaged with this other individual, I don't really open up my heart to them all that much because my heart longs for this person. So for those of you where you are juggling here, and that Devil card is representing the toxicity of juggling two connections, it's time for you to walk away from the one that is not as emotionally fulfilling for you and move towards the individual that you have identified here, not me. You have identified this person as your happiness, as your wish fulfillment. This person offers your life structure and stability and love in a way that you've never experienced, and you're seeing them as wish fulfillment, and you desire to move towards this person in the Six of Swords energy here. So if that's your story, the divine wants you to focus on that romantic connection and closing out this other one. That's what I have for you, Aries. At this time, please be sure to check your other placements, Sun, Moon, Rising, as well as Venus. If you like that message and it did resonate with you, please be sure to click like, share, and subscribe. And until I read for you again, I am wishing you light, love, and peace. Hello, Taurus. Let's see what the divine would like you to focus on at this time. We have main obstacle. So in some situation, environment, or connection here in your life, Taurus, there appears to be a main obstacle. And it's almost like you can no longer put your head in the sand and ignore this main obstacle. It's like it needs to be addressed. Empress to the Nine of Pentacles. It's time for Taurus to boss up and face this challenge, face this problem. Bottom of the deck, the Chariot. And the sooner the better. Tell me more about this main obstacle here that Taurus needs to focus on. What is this main obstacle for Taurus, Sun, Moon, Rising, as well as Venus? One more shuffle now. Thank you. Taurus, we have the Eight of Pentacles, the Queen of Cups, the Nine of Cups, and the Ten of Wands. There's your obstacle. You have the Hangman. You have the King of Cups. Ooh, Page of Wands to the Three of Swords to the Death card to the Devil card. That leaves 4 of Wands, 6 of Wands, Wheel of Fortune, Ace of Cups here at the bottom of the deck. Taurus, I feel like this is very specific for those of you who have a connection in your life, and you can decide who this is with. I feel like this is more love related because I have a Queen of Cups to the King of Cups. But if you want to take this as a friend or a family member or a boss or something like that, or maybe even your parents, I mean, you certainly can. But you have a connection in your life, regardless of what it is. You put a lot of work into this connection. You put a lot of effort into this connection. You've spent a lot of time. You've invested a lot of time and a lot of love and a lot of money into this connection. You see this person as wish fulfillment. At some point, this person brought you a spectacular amount of happiness, whether this is a friend, family member, lover, or even a business partner. At some point, they were your ideal blank, ideal friend, family member, lover, etc., etc. But this connection has become increasingly burdensome for you. You carry the brunt of this relationship, whatever it is to you. There's a need here for you to see this person from another perspective. You're idealizing this person because to you, you're still seeing them as the Nine of Cups. Everything I ever wanted in a friend, everything I ever wanted in a family member. You know what I mean? Everything I ever wanted in the lover. So it's almost like when this person entered your life, or you really connected with this individual, or where this is a romantic partner, you really fell for them. You were feeling all of these 9 cups, right, for this person. But that's not what this person is today. Today, this person breaks your heart, leaves you sad, leaves you lonely. And the connection itself is continually transforming. As much as you are still trying to look at this person as your 9 of Cups, the relationship has transformed. It went from being happiness and 9 of Cups to toxicity, where now you are carrying the brunt and the load of this connection. And I kind of feel like you're still here, like, I'm willing to put in the work. This person's still my number one, but they're not. There's a need here for you to see this person in a new light, from a new angle, in a new perspective. This person has moved forward from this connection with you in some respect. In that Page of Wands, it's almost like they've turned their back on this connection. In fact, although you continue to invest, your back is turned to this person also. Because when I read tarot, it's not just the meaning of the cards. Anyone can remember the meaning of 78 cards and how they associate with one another. It'll take you a couple of years, but anyone can do it. And if you really focus on your meditation, you too can have a connection to the divine and get intuitive hits and hear, and work on your clairs and all of that stuff. But I also look at how the cards come out, and I look at what's on the table and what's not on the table. And what's not on the table for you is the truth. I have Pentacle energy, time, love, money, commitment. I have my love here in the 9 of Cups. I'm speaking like you. 10 of Wands, I see the burdens. What you're not seeing is this person clearly. There's no swords here. So your advice here is to see this person, because your main obstacle to this connection, like the reason why you're not happy, is because you're refusing to see that this person has changed, this connection has changed. And as much as you want the 9 of Cups with this person, that's not the reality of the situation. The situation is heartbreak, betrayal, lies, possibly infidelity. At some point, this connection transformed and became toxic. Tell me about the burden here that Taurus is experiencing. Tell me about the burden. The World card just showed itself. Tell me about the burden here. We'll see if that card wants to come out again. What is this burden here? That's just my blink camera going off. What is that? What is the burden here for Taurus? What is the burden here for Taurus in this connection? This is your main obstacle. One more shuffle. Thank you. Ace of Pentacles, 4 of Pentacles, and the Sun card. Bottom of the deck, 7 of Cups. The burden to this connection, Taurus, and my best friend Kyle is a Taurus. Kyle, if you're watching, hi, my love. Your main obstacle to this, Taurus, is you're not seeing this connection and this individual for who and what they truly are. You're kind of living in 7 of Cups land here. I hate to be the tarot reader to tell you that, but I also can't bullshit you. Seven of Cups is Neptune in Pisces. This is daydreaming. This is fantasy. This is not reality. This is what we want a relationship to look like, but this is not the relationship you currently have. And your obstacle here is because your feelings or thoughts about this relationship are not rooted in reality. You're pretty much gaslighting yourself here, Taurus, telling yourself, if I hold on to this long enough, Four of Pentacles, it will become the Sun card. It will become the Ten of Cups and the Ten of Pentacles. All I have to do is keep investing in it. I feel like you've had several restarts with this person. Makeup, breakup, makeup, breakup. At least one or two false starts here for most of you. And it's because the main obstacle, the main issue in this relationship is not being addressed. And what's not being addressed is the connection has changed and some component within it has become toxic. And that broken heart is not being addressed. It's like nobody wants to talk about it. Nobody wants to talk about what happened in the connection. So I'm speaking like you. I'm just going to hold on because eventually, you know, it has to turn into the Sun card. Who says? Realistically, who says? My parents lost nearly a quarter of a century in their marriage, no matter how much they both held on to it. No one ever addressed this, and so it never became this. No one addressed the toxicity, and so they never had true happiness and abundance in their marriage. They were both, at some point, almost like taking turns living in fantasy land. So let's see, what is the toxicity here? Three of Swords, the Death card, and the Devil card. This relationship, if you're honest with yourself, perspective, right? Hangman. If you're honest with yourself, you're going to sit back and say, yeah, this connection is nothing like it was in the beginning. Or maybe even this person is not who they originally were in the beginning. Heck, maybe you changed too, Taurus, you know. But there definitely was a radical change here. What is this Three of Swords to the Death card to the Devil? One more shuffle here, please, Anne. Thank you. This card wants to show itself. King of Swords, Two of Cups, Star card. Bottom of the deck, Two of Wands, Eight of Cups, Ten of Cups. What's the toxicity in this connection? Somebody's longing for a connection elsewhere, or someone has a connection elsewhere. The truth of the matter is your counterpart is no longer happy in this connection. You want to be happy in this connection, and you want to hold on to this connection until you can restore it to the beginning. Your person is already emotionally checked out of this connection, Taurus. They're already looking in another direction, whether they have another lover or they're just desiring and fantasizing about another lover. Your person either has someone else that they see as a soulmate soul bond connection, that they see as star card wish fulfillment, and they're desiring to walk away from you and move towards this person because to them, this person is their Ten of Cups. This person is their happiness. This person is their wish fulfillment. And for some of you, they've already stepped out on this connection and engaged with this person. That could be what that Three of Swords, Death card, and the Devil card is here. I mean, maybe for some of you, your person is juggling you and this other person. That's possible. For others of you, this other person doesn't exist yet, but they exist in your person's mind. Your person longs to be with someone else, even if that person is not known to them. Because of that Eight of Cup card, your person's already emotionally checked out of this connection. And that's the 800-pound gorilla in this relationship room that nobody wants to talk about. Your person doesn't want to address it, and you don't seem to want to address it. So you're pretending everything's fine, and then crossing your fingers and toes, hoping everything gets restored. And your person is either moving on with someone else or dreaming of the day that they do. This needs to be addressed either by you, by your person. The two of you got to come together. Something has to happen here. I have three very distinct energies here. And you guys initially came out as a pair, and now I have this air sign here. You don't have to be an air sign, but it's just a completely different energy. So either your person, like I said, knows this person and they're engaging in a connection, or they're just hoping and dreaming of the day that they will meet that person. Either way, they're your Nine of Cups, they're your wish fulfillment, and you're their Eight of Cups. I hate to be the reader that tells you that, but your person's emotionally unfulfilled in this connection. And no one's talking about it. Let's get 3 cards of advice here for Taurus. Let's get 3 cards of advice here for Taurus. Look, if I want to have 1 million subscribers, I could sit here and tell all 12 signs that their person wants them and loves them and everything's going to go back and be better than ever. But that would maybe get me 1 million subscribers. That would also make me a divination abuser and a liar. And at the end of the day, my whole part of reading tarot is to help people with their life's journey, not to derail their life's journey by lying to them so I can get an extra subscription. So if the message isn't resonating for you, that's okay. Check another placement. But if it is, I'm not telling you anything you don't know. You already know your person's not happy and their needs and desires are not being fulfilled. And that is no fault of your own. That is no fault of your own, because you're still investing in the connection and you're still bringing your best to the table. But the reality is, Taurus, sometimes our best isn't good enough. People change over the years and they desire new things. The fault of this, to be quite honest, is actually your person. Because if your person's not happy in the connection, they should be telling you about it before stepping out on the connection or before daydreaming of stepping out of the connection. So I'm certainly not putting any of the blame on you, Taurus. And cross watchers, don't come for me in the comments. This is Taurus's reading. Don't tell me flip-flop, reverse. It's, you got it wrong. Taurus is the cheater. This is a reading for Tauruses where they're not the cheater. Okay, that's, I have to tell you the cards that are here. I'm not going to flip-flop around energies when I'm typically intuitively told when to flip-flop them around. There's no flip-flopping these around. It's obvious what you want, and it's obvious what your person wants. And unfortunately, they no longer want this connection with you. That's the main obstacle. That's why you're not getting wish fulfillment, is because your partner here doesn't want the same thing. 3 cards of advice here for Taurus, how to deal with this. One more shuffle, please, and thank you. The Moon, the Hierophant, the Knight of Swords, bottom of the deck, Empress. Step into your power. We have the Empress card, which is you, and we have the Hierophant, which is you. It's time for you, Taurus, although the onus or burden or responsibility really is this person, since they're no longer happy here. But they're no longer happy here. Otherwise, you wouldn't have such a main obstacle to your happiness, and you wouldn't have such an albatross around your neck when it comes to this connection. So it's almost like the only person who can help you here at this point is you. In your energy of the Empress to the Hierophant, regardless of your gender, there's a need here for you to communicate to your person all of the doubts, fears, and insecurities you have about this connection, about her, that they're not happy in it, or maybe they have someone else, or they daydream of someone else. It's almost, and maybe for some of you, God, I hate to say this to people, maybe for some of you, this is a lesson. I always say people come into our lives to teach us a lesson. And maybe the lesson here is that Taurus needs to speak up and address when something is wrong in a connection, as opposed to just doing nothing and holding on to the back of the bumper and, continuing to invest time. Relationships are not prison sentences. Till death do us part does not mean I'm going to sit here and pretend everything is fine and you can go out and have other people or daydream about not being with me. That's not a healthy connection. So time served is not a reason to stay in a relationship. A relationship is a relationship. A death row jail sentence is another thing. Please don't confuse the two. Your advice here is to sit down and have a very honest and truthful conversation with your person about their unhappiness and their clear emotional detachment from the connection. And after that, Taurus, in your power, you can make your own decision. We have the Empress, we have the King of Wands, we have the 4 of Cups, we've got the 6 of Cups, the 3 of Cups, and the 6 of Swords. I think after you have this conversation with your person, you're going to realize that they can't give you what you're longing for. 4 of Cups. And as much as you want reunion, and as much as you see them as a soulmate, soul bond connection, your advice here is to literally make the judgment call. Oh my God. Literally make the judgment call to move on from this individual. That's your advice, Taurus. Take it or leave it, but that's what the divine wants you to focus on. At this time, there's a need for you to step up and have a very honest and truthful conversation with your person about why they're emotionally checked out. And you almost have to create a setting or environment for this individual so they can feel vulnerable enough to actually tell you the truth. Otherwise, they're just going to gaslight you. I got to be honest with you. So you need to create an environment that's not accusatory, but more like, we need to sit down and have a serious conversation about what's happening here. And then you can determine based on what your partner says about whether or not you want to continue in the connection. But that's what I have for you, Taurus, at this time. That's something that the divine wants you to focus on, is addressing this main obstacle in a connection between you and another individual. And for most of you, it appears to be romantic in nature. Be sure to check out your other placements, Taurus, Sun, Moon, Rising, as well as Venus. You could get a more personalized message for yourself. But if you like this message, it resonated with you, or maybe just found it to be helpful, please be sure to click like, share, and subscribe. And until I read for you again, I am wishing you light, love, and peace. Hello, Gemini Twin Gang. Let's see what the divine would like us to focus on at this time. We have considerations. Before making a decision, we need to consider all of the facts. Yes, Emperor to the Eight of Cups. Before walking away or making a decision regarding a particular situation, environment, or connection, there are some things we need to consider. What does Gemini need to consider? Gemini, Sun, Moon, Rising, as well as Venus. Tell me more about this for Gemini. What do they need to focus on at this time? What do they need to consider? One more shuffle now. Thank you. We have the Nine of Wands. We have the Queen of Pentacles. We have the Ace of Swords. Wow. And the Ace of Cups. Bottom of the deck, 10 of Swords, 10 of Cups, Knight of Wands. 4 Swords, 10 of Wands, 7 of Wands. There's something here that you're doing on repeat in the Nine of Wands energy. It's almost like a repetitive cycle here. I want to clarify just a few of these cards. I feel like whether this is an existing, for some of you, this is an existing situation, environment, or connection. And the same repetitive pattern keeps happening here over and over again. We move towards happiness. Something happens, breaks our heart. Happiness, falls to the wayside. This is a situation, environment, or connection that is not built on solid ground. It's very inconsistent. It's not stable at all. We make up, break up, make up, break up. We go from 10 of Swords, 10 of Cups, 10 of Swords, 10 of Cups, because there's no real consistency here. And this is a round and round pattern. And then, like, we clear the air, we fall in love again. We clear the air, we fall in love again. But there's something here that you need to consider. So for some of you, this is the same person, place, or thing you keep going round and round with. And for others of you, it's the same pattern, but that keeps repeating itself in different situations, environments, or connections. All right, so tell me about, what does Gemini keep doing over and over again? Nine of Wands. What is the Nine of Wands here? What is this pattern for Gemini? One more shuffle here, please, and thank you. The pattern. 3 of Cups, 3 of Pentacles, Justice. What is the Queen of Pentacles? I feel like, I'm going to be honest with you, I kind of feel a Sun card. I just saw the Sun card at the bottom of the deck. I feel like this has more to do with a connection in your life. Now, if you want to take it as professional, you can. Platonic with a friend or family member, you can. Romantic with a lover, you can. I feel like the round and round here is, I'm speaking to a group of Geminians. By the way, if you're celebrating your birthday this week, happy birthday. You want to get to the 10 of Cups with this person. But we're always at the 3 of Cups. We never make it to the 10. We want the 3. We start the 3 of Cups. We start putting in the effort, 3 of Swords. Everything seems fair and balanced. Everything is humming along. There's truth, there's honesty, there's clarity, there's love. Boom, there's a crash. We never make it to the 10 of Cups. Why? Because something or someone is showing up inconsistent in this connection. And it's a round and round pattern. Could be you, could be your person, could be both of you taking turns being inconsistent here. Queen of Pentacles. The situation needs to be grounded. I don't want to say situation. This connection is built on faulty ground. That's why I'm speaking like you. It's why we can't advance in this connection. Tell me about the Queen of Pentacles. Tell me about the Queen of Pentacles here. One more shuffle. Thank you. Queen of Pentacles, clarified by 7 of Swords, 7 of Wands, 10 of Wands. There's no real stability in the connection. There's no real long-term investment in the connection. That's why we keep failing. That's why it keeps falling apart. It's almost like, I'm speaking to a Gemini where it's almost like you are deceiving yourself. Please don't get mad and unsubscribe. If it's not your reading, check another placement. But it's almost like you're deceiving yourself, because if I show up and I reconcile and I invest and everything stays fair and balanced and we open communication, I open up my heart to this person, we'll eventually make it to the 10 of Cups. But you keep crashing and burning. Your fault, their fault, combination of two, I don't know. Something's inconsistent here because there's a lack of investment in the connection. And that's the truth. And so it puts a lot of weight. Someone here always has their guard up in this connection. You or your person. For all I know, you both take turns with this, being defensive, being guarded, not letting the other person in, but then we reconcile, we let the person back in. There's a lot of weight on this connection. There's love here. There's passion here. There's even dialogue and communication here. What's not here is pentacle investment. Why is that? Why is there no real, tangible pentacle investment in this connection? Someone's not fully investing. Could be you, could be your person. Could be your mom or dad. Like, again, I don't know who this other person is to you, but I know you keep trying to make it work. And honey, it's not working. And what you need to consider is the reason why it's not working is one of you, possibly both, are not truly invested in this connection or are incapable of investing in this connection. Why is that? Why is that? One more shuffle. Thank you. Why is that? Death, the Fool, and the Empress spun with that Queen of Wands. Because someone has to step up and put on their big boy or big girl pants. That's why. Because one partner is showing up here as an Empress, and the other person is showing up as a Knight of Wands. That's the only two people cards on the table. So you figure out, Gemini, if you're the Empress/Emperor or if you are that Knight/Princess of Wands. But in order for this to transform, whoever's showing up as the Knight needs to show up as the Empress's counterpart. That's what needs to transform so this connection could have a new beginning. And then it can go the distance. Then we're adults. Until that happens, there's something here of 4 Cups, unrequited love. We start at the Ace of Cups. We have this partnership. I give, you give. There's celebration. There's reunion. And then we end up in the 4 Cups. Someone here feels ignored, unseen, emotionally unfulfilled. And there's like an avalanche then of burden and pain that disrupts the connection. So we never quite make it to the 10 of Cups. So in order, and this is what you need to consider, Gemini, one of you, possibly both, again, take it how it resonates, it's a collective reading. What you need to consider and realize is no matter how many times you do this with this person, if you and they are not coming at this and investing at the same level, the same vibration, the same frequency, you're going to have the same continual pattern. 7 of Swords, 7 of Wands, 10 of Wands, 10 of Swords. Let's get 3 cards of advice here. Well, let's get advice for whoever the Knight of Wands is here. Let's get 3 cards of advice for the inconsistent individual. Whoever's inconsistent here. 3 cards of advice for them. One more shuffle. Thank you. So whether it's you or your person, Emperor. Didn't I just say it? I love when the cards come out and it's like the divine doubling down the message. I had just said, whoever the Knight of Wands is, they need to show up as the Empress's counterpart. Who's the Empress's counterpart? The Emperor. So whoever's the Knight of Wands, they need to step it up. 4 of Wands, it's like they literally need to transform and like step into a new timeline, like a new vibration. Chariot. So this relationship can move forward where it's meant to be. Someone needs to have the strength and courage needed and required to go from Knight of Wands to the Emperor. Literally walking through that 4 of Wands, the 1111 portal. So this relationship can move forward towards success and victory and happiness. Because until that person levels up, round and round and round and round will go. Let's get 3 cards of advice now for the Empress. Let's get 3 cards of advice now for the Empress. The Tower literally fell out of the deck, followed by the 3 of Swords, followed by the 9 of Pentacles. I know you don't want to hear it, but your advice is to walk away from this. Well, I'm not even going to say walk away from the situation. Your advice is to accept the situation for what it is right now. What it is right now, you're showing up as a divine counterpart to the best of your ability, and your person is not. Or swap that energy around if you want, okay? Your person showing up as a divine counterpart, and you are not, okay? And accept that. Your Tower could be radical acceptance that until one of you levels up, there will be continual heartbreak. So you can wait for this person. The Page of Wands here is waiting. The Three of Wands here is waiting. The Moon card is like, Moon card's a Six of Swords. Like, I have someone here waiting for the other person to level up. I'm not going to tell you to wait or to not wait. I've been in your situation at different, in different relationships in my life. And sometimes I chose to wait and sometimes I chose not to wait. So it's a very personal decision. But whether you choose to wait or not wait, that's what you need to accept and consider, right? Because this is all clarifying the consideration card. So that's what you need to consider. Until one of you levels up and shows up at a higher vibration, the other person needs to just accept radical acceptance that this will continue to be a heartbreaking situation for them. And they need to focus on themselves, whether they wait or they don't wait. The Nine of Pentacles is a very independent energy. This is a grounded energy. This is someone who's stable. They work on their finances. They don't really need someone to come along with the 10th Pentacle. They're quite content with 9. So whether you want to keep waiting, which I see here, most of you are waiting. See how this knight has to walk through the 1111 portal of the Four of Wands to become the Emperor. That's what you're waiting for. Page of Wands and Three of Wands. Guess what that is? 4 Wands. So you're waiting for this person to walk through the portal. And despite your doubts, fears, or insecurities, you're like, I'm going to wait. That's great. Wait. Not going to tell you not to. But while you're waiting, can you focus on yourself and your house and your finances and your future and your retirement plans and the business you want to open and nurturing yourself and taking care of yourself and going out and having fun and enjoying the fruits of your labor? That's your advice here. And if you don't want to wait, then accept the radical acceptance, like this is what it is, and then to go become free, independent, and autonomous of this connection and continue to nurture yourself. So you have a choice here. You can wait or not wait, but whatever you do, for God's sakes, start focusing a little bit more on yourself. And for the counterpart here, let's go. Time's a ticking here. Let's go. You can't sit as a knight forever. Your Emperor, Empress here is waiting for you. So if that's you, Gemini, time to take steps to speed that up. That is what I have for you, my dear. That is what the divine wants you to consider at this time. You are in some kind of partnership with an individual, and one of you is not operating at the higher frequency or vibration, or not showing up in the connection, at the same frequency or vibration as the other. And until that changes, nothing's going to change here. So you can continue to wait or you can continue to move on. But either way, you need to take care of you. That is what I have for you, Gemini, at this time. Remember to check all 4 of your placements, Sun, Moon, Rising, as well as Venus, to get a little bit more of a personalized message for yourself. But if you like that message, it resonated with you, you want to claim all or part of it, or maybe just found it to be helpful or even hopeful, please be sure to click like, share, and subscribe. And until I read for you again, I am wishing you light, love, and peace. Hello, Cancer. Let's see what the divine would like you to focus on at this time, my dear. We have hopes. Time to focus on hope. Tell me more about this for Cancer, Sun, Moon, Rising, as well as Venus. Focus on your hopes, your dreams, your wishes. Tell me more about this here for Cancer. Tell me more about this, Cancer, Sun, Moon, Rising, as well as Venus. One more shuffle now. Thank you. We have the King of Wands. We have the 5 of Pentacles. We have the 6 of Cups. We have the Queen of Wands. Look at that, King to the Queen of Wands. The 7 of Pentacles, the 10 of Cups, and the Ace of Wands. What you waiting for? You have a hope and a dream here. You have yet to plant seeds in this hope or dream or wish that you have. And I don't know what this is for you. I could be speaking to a single Cancerian, and your hope and dream is to meet your counterpart and live happily ever after and have a passionate beginning in love with this person, and maybe even settle down and have a family or combine families with them, or maybe it's just the 2 of you together versus the world, and that's your own family. But you're not doing anything to meet that person. For those of you who are single, you're kind of sitting here in isolation mode in the 5 of Pentacles, kind of dreaming of this soulmate, soul bond connection, but not being vulnerable enough to put yourself out there and actually meet this counterpart. And so the divine is telling you here, like, if that's your hope and that's your wish and that's your dream, then there's a need here for you to get out of your comfort zone. You need to get out of the 5 of Pentacles and actually step into the 7 of Pentacles, which would be investing time, love, money, effort into finding this person. because sitting around home and moping and isolating yourself is not, won't bring that person to you. Unfortunately, you need to go out there and meet that person. The two of you need to both be out there meeting one another, and that's kind of how you meet in the middle type of thing. For others of you, you already have someone in your life who you see as a soulmate, and you feel abandoned or maybe neglected by this individual. Your hope is to bring this relationship back together again, or to restore it to its to its original construct, or the original structure of the relationship. But you're not addressing this with your person. So inside, you could be feeling Five of Pentacles, abandoned and not emotionally fulfilled. You could be feeling ignored by this person. You could have a lot of passion for this person, but maybe there's not a lot of intimacy between you and them. Again, there's a need here for you to get out of your comfort zone. If your hope is reconciliation and restoration of the passion and love and the reinvestment of the connection, then you need to step out of your comfort zone and begin pouring pentacle energy, time, love, money, effort to sit down and have a conversation, Page of Swords, with this person about how do we reintroduce love, Page of Cups, into this connection so we could Star card heal it, because I love you and I don't want to lose you. And my hope is that we can be together and be happy for the rest of our lives. But something is lacking here in the connection, or at least making me feel like something is lacking. There's a need or needs here within me that are not being fulfilled. And I need to be honest and have this conversation with you because I don't want to lose the connection. And then I have a third group of Cancerians here where you're desiring to open up a business and be an entrepreneur and create jobs. And some of you want to do this with your partner or a partner. Some of you want to do it solo, but you're not investing anything into it. It's a hope, it's a dream, it's a wish. I would be really happy if I could do blank, read tarot and make money and live happily ever after. Or be a baker, or be a singer, or, whatever this is, be an accountant. There's something here of like, I would really love to open up my own business. I think I'd be very happy. I could see myself doing that for the rest of my life. Seven of Pentacles would be like very slow investment. So I can see myself doing this for a long time. It would make me happy. Maybe for some of you, this was a dream you always had, like to be your own, like to be an entrepreneur or be your own business owner. But there's something here in the Five of Pentacles where you haven't actually brought this dream to life. You keep it as a hope and a wish and a dream, and you sort of backburnered it. And now maybe for some of you, there's a financial component here involved. And if that's the case, the divine is telling you, you need to, Page of Swords, seek out financial assistance so you can actually move towards wish fulfillment. Whether that's getting a loan, refinancing, working 2 jobs, saving your money, paying off your credit card debts. So you could get a loan in the future to launch this, something like that. And for those of you where you have someone in mind, whether they're platonic or romantic, that you want to open this, establish this endeavor with, or open this business with, then you actually need to have a conversation with this person. This is what I would like to do with you. I think we would make great partners at this because of these reasons. And how do we come together now to actually make this dream a reality? Because I think you would enjoy doing this as much as I would. So I sort of feel like there's a lesson here for the Cancerian collective. Step out of your comfort zone. Face all of these doubts. Look at that Death card to the Moon card. Put an end to your doubts, fears, and insecurities so you can move forward towards wish fulfillment. Whether that is meeting a new person, reconciling or spicing up your current connection, or moving towards opening up your own business. Because if you don't, if you're resonating with any of those 3 groups, look at that Page of Swords, the Five of Swords. You can walk away from this dream. This person's walking away back here. Or you could actually do something about it. Because like, if you don't do anything, nothing happens with it. It will always remain just some pie in the sky pipe dream. And I think the Cancerian collective here, their lesson is like, better to have tried and failed than to have never tried at all. Like, why die with the regret of not having love, or not reinvigorating the current connection, or chasing down that dream and opening up that business, or maybe even expanding a current one for those of you who are current business owners. Like, why die with any regrets? Bottom of the deck, Page of Cups, the acquisition of knowledge. So finding a love partner, reconciling with a love partner, discussing this business project with someone, or just taking the initiative yourself to do it on your own. 3 cards of advice here. Well, first I want to know why you're feeling Five of Pentacles. Why is the Five of Pentacles here for Cancer? One more shuffle. Thank you. Five of Pentacles, clarified by the Hangman, the Three of Wands, and the King of Pentacles. Bottom of the deck, Eight of Cups. To the lovers, for some of you, you're afraid, if you're single, you're afraid to get back out there and be vulnerable and meet someone because the last time you did that, you thought it was going to go the distance and the person either ghosted you or the relationship came to an end. You walked away, they walked away, possibly one, if not both of you, had maybe even another lover on the side or left one person for another. So those doubts, fears, insecurities from those old wounds, from that past connection or connections, it needs to be healed in order for you to move forward. You also need to see those endings in a new light, in that Hangman energy, is that what happened in the past does not dictate what will happen in the future. As long as you learn those lessons and you've healed your heart, it's time to be vulnerable again and let love in. For those of you where you're currently with your person, but there's been some kind of emotional disconnection, whether there is a separation here or the two of you are just kind of together but sort of living apart, you know, type of thing. And there's a need here for you to have an honest conversation about why you or your person emotionally disconnected from the connection. You can't just suddenly introduce date nights and romantic adventures and think that will automatically like fix the connection. What needs to be addressed is, why did someone emotionally detach from the relationship? Like, we need to address the 800-pound gorilla in the room, and then we can go back to introducing intimacy and date nights and all of those things. If the two of you can work through that, because someone, you know, if that's your story, someone here pulled away, and we need to address, and I'm speaking like you, we need to address why. And for those of you where this is a business, I don't know what you're waiting for. I think you need to see this in a new perspective. So what? You had businesses in the past fail. That doesn't mean this one will. So what? You know people who opened businesses and they failed. So what? Doesn't mean that you're going to be the same type of business owner. Maybe they had a bad business plan. Maybe they didn't invest properly. Maybe they didn't have enough marketing or advertising. Maybe their product or service wasn't that good. I wouldn't allow other people's failures, investment failures or business failures. I would look at their business failures as a model of what not to do so my business doesn't fail. But I wouldn't look at their failures as a reason why I shouldn't try and open my business or expand it. So 3 cards of advice here, and then we will close out your reading. 3 cards of advice here for how Cancer can move towards that Ace of Wands. That's either new love, new business, expansion of a current business, or reconciliation with someone. And yeah, I leaned a little bit more on reconciliation in terms of a love partner, because I have this, you know, soulmate connection here. But if you want to take that as you reconciling with a friend or family member, you're more than welcome to, because at the end of the day, it's a collective general reading. Advice for Cancer, 3 cards, please, how they can move towards that Ace of Wands or restore that Ace of Wands in their life. One more shuffle. Thank you. 3 cards of advice. Page of Wands, 4 of Pentacles, Queen of Cups, bottom of the deck, Fool. Take a chance. You don't have to find someone tomorrow. You don't have to fix your relationship in 24 hours. You don't have to launch that business by Friday, but you can start today. Page of Wands, that's the page of discovery. You can discover, put yourself out there and see what is out, who is out there, what soulmates are out there for me. You need to have for those of you where it's reconciliation, have a discussion with your person and discover why there's a disconnection and how the two of you can work together to restore the connection here. And if this is a business, discover ways on how you can launch this business. Whatever it is here, whatever your hope or dream is, the 4 of Pentacles as advice is telling you to hold on to it. Don't lose sight of it. But with the Queen of Cups, open your heart and move towards it. The Fool, take a chance. Have the courage, strength, and perseverance in the Strength card. 10 of Pentacles. Go for the gold. What's that thing at the end of Shawshank Redemption? Get busy living or get busy dying. That's what I have for you, Cancer. If you like that message and resonated with you, please be sure to click like, share, and subscribe. Remember to check out all 4 of your placements, Sun, Moon, Rising, as well as Venus, so you get a little bit more of a personalized reading for yourself. But if that message did resonate with you, I will appreciate a like, share, comment, or subscribe. And of course, until I read for you again, sorry, I stumbled there. Until I read for you again, I'm wishing you light, love, and peace. Hello, Leo. Let's see what the divine would like you to focus on at this time for Leo. What do we have for you, dear? Ooh, attitude. You need to focus on your attitude, someone else's attitude. I recorded readings all day today, so please excuse the extremely scratchy voice. Okay. Why does Leo need to focus on attitude? Leo, Sun, Moon, Rising, as well as Venus. Why do they need to focus on attitude? One more shuffle now. Thank you. Okay, Four of Swords, Knight of Wands, Two of Pentacles, the Lovers. Bottom of the deck, Knight of Pentacles, Nine of Cups, the Chariot. I think this is a little bit, if this message doesn't resonate for you, just check another placement. Okay, Sun, Moon, Rising, as well as Venus. But I've tapped into a group of Leos, excuse me, and Leo placements where you are healing from some type of Three of Swords moment, because your first card out is the Four of Swords, and what precedes that is the Three of Swords. So you're healing here in respect to some type of partnership or a connection that wounded you in some way. For others of you, maybe even possibly came to an end. There's something here about you needing to adjust your attitude when it comes to love. And I want to see why that is. But I feel like adjusting your attitude, and that could even be taken as like adjusting your perspective, actually brings in a long-term commitment, brings in a divine counterpart who kind of like checks off all the boxes and invests in the connection. And there's success here with this person, and there's victory in that Chariot energy. But you need to change your perspective. So let's see what that is, your attitude or your perspective. I'm not going to clarify the Four of Swords because that'll be different for all of you. I've tapped into a group of you clearly where you're still healing from some type of heartbreaking situation, possibly even an ending. So the Knight of Wands. Why is the Knight of Wands here for Leo, Sun, Moon, Rising, as well as Venus? Six of Pentacles. A healthy relationship is not being involved with an individual who is inconsistent. Like the moment you see the red flag where you've entered a connection with someone and it might be fun and it might be sexy, and the Knight of Wands, Princess of Wands, I mean, the intimacy is off the charts. Okay, those are individuals where they look good, they smell good, and you give them some time, they'll make you feel good too. But it's also the least consistent partner in terms of a romantic reading. And that's what we're talking about here with that Lover's card to the Nine of Cups. So there's something here about changing your attitude or your perspective about a long-term committed partner, because you appear to want long-term commitment. I want someone who checks off all my boxes, Nine of Cups. I want someone I can have victory and success with and move forward with. But Knight of Pentacles, I want it to be stable and grounded. You know, this is the most resilient, most reliable knight in tarot. This is a knight that's in it for the long run. So it's almost like you need to look for a partner who's more of a Knight of Pentacles as opposed to the Knight of Wands. Like the moment you're dating someone, going out on a date or whatever, getting to know them, and you see that their attitude is they're in and out, Two of Pentacles, when it comes to long-term committed relationship, they're telling you from the beginning, they're not sure they want it. Maybe we'll see how it goes. Out. Because this person will continually breadcrumb you. So I don't think this is so much about you changing your attitude. I think it's you changing your perspective, because I think some of you fall in love with Knight of Wands or Princess of Wands, and you think you're going to convert them to Knight of Pentacles, Princess of Pentacles. And that's never going to happen. You can't change that other person, and you can't love them enough to change. That's something they have to do. So you kind of have to see it from a new perspective. You need to start, I mean, you don't need to do anything. You can continue to date Knight of Wands, but it's not going to end up turning into this, unfortunately. So there's need for you to change your perspective about the type of person you're attracting. And then you also, with that attitude card, need to look at the person you're dating, their attitude. Because the moment there's a red flag, we're done. We're done here. And you don't have to be rude about it, but we're done here. Because you're wasting a lot of time waiting for these Knights and Princesses of Wands to turn into Pentacles. Tell me more about the Knight of Wands here. One more shuffle here, please, and thank you. Six of Cups, Ace of Swords, King of Wands. That's what you want. See? Three of Swords. Oh my God, Three of Swords, Seven of Swords, my love. Three of Cups. This is someone who's in it for a good time and not a long time. And I feel like for some of you, this is just one person. And for others of you, I think it's a series of people. And are they soulmate, soul bond connections? They are, but they're purposely being put in your life so you learn the karmic lesson. Your karmic lesson here is not to fall in love with outside appearances. I'm not telling you to date someone who you're completely unattracted to, but that can't be the only thing that draws you towards this person. And that shouldn't be the only thing about you that draws this person to you. So what you need to see clearly is that the person is showing up as a king or a queen and not a knight or a princess. Because the knights, the princesses, this is what they're going to continually give you. Heartbreak, sadness, grief, loss, separation, relationships falling apart, lying, cheating, betrayal, deception, stringing you along, making you think they want long-term commitment when they really don't. Three of Swords, maybe third party, or just investing in other connections, even if they're platonic. It could also be the card of someone who's in it for a good time and not a long time. You're looking for Nine of Cups. This person or these people, they're happy with the Three of Cups. Let's go out, have a few drinks, roll around in bed, see you in 2 days. And meanwhile, you're looking for someone to spend the rest of your life with. So it's almost like you need to do not an interview. That's rude. I just heard like an interview, not an interview, but a better job at kind of sitting back and observing the person or people that you date and not just glorifying them off the bat because they look great or they smell great or you have been intimate with them and the sex is off the charts. Like, don't let that blind you. As pretty as those 3 qualities are, believe me, I'm dating someone with those qualities, but he's not a Knight of Wands. That I will not tolerate. So you can have both. And I think that's what your message here is. It's like when you start dating people, you kind of have to sit back and assess their attitude about commitment. What are their thoughts about long-term relationships? I would ask them about their previous partner. What did you, and that's how I knew with him. Because at first I thought, oh gosh, this is a Knight of Wands, man. He's he wears he wears those jeans and I swear to God, they're spray painted on that body. And so in the beginning, I thought it was the Knight of Wands. And then I said to him, we're, at the time separated from our spouses and starting our lives over and stuff. And I had said to him, well, why do you think your marriage is failing? And that response, that I was looking for what he was going to say. Was he going to blame it all on her? Was he actually going to fess up to how he contributed to the failure? What did he learn from the failure? I mean, it was a really interesting conversation. And he was open to having it over the course of a couple of weeks. Every time we'd get together, we'd ask, one another something else very casually. It's not like it was, Inquisition style. No one showed up with a notepad, saying you got to answer these questions, but just very casually came up in conversation. Oh, last week when we were talking about it, you mentioned blah, blah, blah. What did you mean by that? And in that conversation, I was able to assess him and I was able to assess his long-term, not responsibility to me, but his long-term view of our connection, of connections in general, like what he really wanted. And if he would have said to me, I'm not looking for a long-term partner, or I'll never get married again, or I never want to be, in a connection like that, a monogamous connect, I would have been like, out, see ya, nice. Thank you for wearing painted on jeans. They look great on you, but I'm out. So there's something here about having actual dialogue, Ace of Swords, conversation with the person or people that you date and assess their attitude about long-term commitment and ask them about their failed connections in the past. What a person says about an ex or their exes speaks volumes of their character, the lessons they learned, and their attitude towards love for the future. If you're planning to have a future with them, you need to know their attitude on love and partnership. And the best way to do that is to ask them questions about their ex or exes. That'll tell you everything you need to know about that person. I kind of feel like that's what you don't do. And so you keep falling for these people where the connections end in Three of Swords for you. Because it's almost like from the get-go, had you asked the questions, you would have known you and this person are not on the same page. Let's get 3 cards of advice here for you, Leo. 3 cards of advice. Although I think I gave you all the messages that just came in, but we'll see if we have anything else for you. Yeah, because then it's like once you have that conversation and you know what page they're on, you've assessed their attitude and everything, then you can make the decision, right? Two of Pentacles to the Lovers. Because I could be speaking to a Leo where you don't want this. You don't want long-term commitment. And then, okay, then just know that that's as far as that's going to go. You know, having a good time, a roll in the sheets. And if you're cool with it, you're cool with it. I'm not going to judge you. I'm just a tarot reader from New Jersey in the United States. But if it's not what you want, then you get to make the choice and exit before it ends up in, you know, a horrible tower moment of 3 of Swords, 7 of Swords, you know, 10 of Swords for you. So let's get 3 cards of advice here for Leo. One more shuffle. Thank you. 3 cards of advice. 7 of Cups, the World, and the 6 of Wands. 3 of Pentacles. Your victory in love comes from clearing away doubts, fears, anxieties, confusions, illusions, and fantasy by having an open and honest conversation with this, you know, the person or people that you date about how they see long-term commitments. Do they want it? Are they willing to put in the effort? Why did their past connections fail? Everything I said to you literally is right here in these cards. And then 2 of Swords, again, you get to make the decision if you want to move forward with this person. But without that honest conversation, you're dating in a world of fantasy. And you're desperately wanting, you know, you want the relationship to be rooted in reality, but from the get-go, it's all fantasy. Because we're not having that serious conversation. And look, I'm not saying the first date you go on, you're like, hey, want to get married? Like, I'm not telling you to do that, but there needs to be a conversation about like, what are you looking for? Are you looking for a long-term partner? Are you just looking for a good time? Are you looking for a monogamous connection? Like those are questions that need to be asked. So that's what I have for you, Leo. There's a need here in respect to your love connections to ask some hard questions in a gentle way, of course, 6 of Cups, gentle way. So you can, like, I don't want to say judge, but, you know, review this person's attitude and their responses to your question so you can determine whether they're a Knight of Wands or a Knight of Pentacles. And then you can decide if you know, want to move forward with them. That's what I have for you, my dear. Be sure to check out your other placements, Sun, Moon, Rising, as well as Venus. But if this is where we part for now and you like this message and it resonated with you, please be sure to click like, share, and subscribe. And until I read for you again, I am wishing you light, love, and peace. Hello, Virgo, my mercurial brothers and sisters. Let's see what the divine would like you to focus on at this time. What does Virgo, or what should Virgo focus on at this time? Intuition. Why does Virgo need to focus on their intuition at this time? I just saw the Moon card. So maybe in regards to what you're dealing with, instead of leaning into doubts, fears, insecurities, anxieties, lean more into your intuition. Bottom of the deck, the Hermit. There you are, my dear. Yeah, do some more soul searching. Connect with your higher self. Tell me more about this for Virgo. One more shuffle here, please, and thank you. I just saw the Knight of Pentacles. So we have the 7 of Pentacles, the Knight of Cups, the 4 of Cups, and the Death card. Bottom of the deck, we have the Hierophant, we have the Knight of Wands, and we have the 8 of Swords. And then we have the Tower immediately followed by the Star card. I almost get the feeling here that some of you, I just heard looking for love in all the wrong places. Who sings that song? Looking for love in all the wrong places. Okay, that's an oldie. It's a goodie, but that's an oldie. There's something here about the Virgo collective feeling like they'll never find love or they'll never find the one. Now, if you don't want to take this as a love reading, then take this as anything else. There's something here that you want that continues to elude you, and you're allowing your doubts, fears, and insecurities to tell you that it's unattainable. You'll never find a love partner to settle down with, Hierophant. You'll never find the job that you love, because in career and finance reading, the Hierophant very well could be the entity or corporation or company you work for. It's almost like it's almost like you're allowing past failures to dictate your future. So I want a stable relationship. I don't believe I'll ever find it. I want that stable job. I don't believe I'll ever find it. I want to launch my own business, but I don't believe I'll ever find it. Every time I put myself out there in this Knight of Cups energy, I'm going to end up being rejected. Rejected by the job, rejected by the friend, rejected by family, rejected by a potential love partner. There's something here about you transforming the way you see yourself, the way you see your life, the way you see your goals and dreams and aspirations. Tell me more about the Seven of Pentacles. I'm going to take a peek at that and put it back in. We have the Four of Pentacles. So some of you are really stuck in this mindset. It's almost a little victim mentality-ish. Please don't get mad at me. These readings are just intended to help. If the message doesn't resonate with you, check another placement. In fact, I encourage you to watch your Sun, Moon, Rising, as well as your Venus placements, because then you can take the messages that align with your journey, kind of piece together and create your own little personal reading out of them. But first I want to know about the Seven of Pentacles. Why the Seven of Pentacles here? One more shuffle. Thank you. Seven of Pentacles, King of Wands, the Emperor, and the Tower. I feel like I've tapped into a group of you where you're like, every time I take the lead and I take the inspired action and move towards blank, and blank's going to be different for all of you, right? Person, place, or thing, or dream, or whatever. It ends up coming crashing down the tower. It never materializes. And so in the Knight of Cups energy, I'm going to take that phone notification there as a, yep, that's it. So in that Knight of Cups energy, I'm afraid to always move towards whatever it is that I want, to either ask for it, to move towards it, you know, to apply for the job, to ask the person out on the date, to be vulnerable and extend my heart, because every time I've done it in the past, I've been rejected or neglected. Death card is here. Virgo Collective needs to transform that. How do they do that? Tell me more about the Death card here. One more shuffle here. Thank you. The High Priestess. Oh my God. Tap into your intuition. Ten of Pentacles and the Four of Pentacles. Wow. Bottom of the deck, World card. Well, you know, it's going to sound really easy when a tarot reader in New Jersey, you know, in the United States of America tells you to do this. You're going to be like, yeah, easier said than done. I totally agree. But there's a need here for you to elevate your vibration. Tap into your intuition. And it's basically tap into your intuition with the High Priestess, the Ten of Pentacles. Get as high vibe as you can and remain there. Four Pentacles. When you get to that higher frequency, hold on to that. It will radically transform your life. Like what you want will come in and you won't even see it coming. In the Eight of Swords, that blindfold goes over her eyes and over her ears. It's almost like you won't see or hear it coming. What you want will come in. So I'll give you an example. Let's say I'm speaking to a Virgo where whether you're out of work or you're just looking for a replacement job. Make sure my mic is on. It is. Okay. And, you know, you go online or wherever it is you go looking for a job and you see all of these, you know, potential positions. You're like, I really would like this one, this one, and this one. And you apply, but then you show up at the interview already in the mindset of, I'm not qualified. I have the degree, but I don't have the enough experience. I have the experience, but I don't have the degree. They're never going to hire me. I'm not good enough. My wardrobe doesn't fit, you know, this place, or I can't afford to even, it's almost like the person you're interviewing with already can feel you energetically that you don't think you're good enough. Instead, if you were operating at a higher vibration, you would walk into that interview like you own that place. And I don't mean to walk in being smug and egoic, but walking in like I already got the job. Almost walking into the interview of, thank you for seeing me. Now, what can I do for you? And being prepared for the interview with a list of questions. Because an interview isn't just the employer asking you questions. You should be entering that interview with your own questions. You know, when I was running the X-ray business, the X-ray company with my husband and our business partners, you know, I would interview people for various positions. If at the end of the interview or you know, anytime during an interview, I said to them, "Well, do you have any questions for me?" And they were like, "No, not really." 99% of the time, I didn't hire the person. And they could have had the experience and they could have had all the degrees that, you know, were required for that position. But if they didn't have at least one question for me, I knew they were not serious. They either weren't confident enough in their abilities. And the last thing we needed in an X-ray, you know, company, you're talking about people's health, you know, and the maintenance of equipment that dictates someone's health. I need someone who's going to show up every day and be very confident in their abilities. So we can provide the best service. So our practitioners can provide the best healthcare to their patients. And I can't have someone, you know, we couldn't have someone sitting there all day not confident in themselves or their own abilities. And I certainly didn't want to have someone who couldn't muster up one question, because how serious are they about the job and their longevity at the job? So there's something about changing your frequency and your vibration. So again, using job as an example, when you're going on the interview, you are prepared. and you are prepared because you look like you not only want the job, but it's already yours. As opposed to walking into it and going, well, I just went through 4 interviews and I was rejected from all of them. So I guess this will be the 5th. Because even if you're not saying it, the interviewer is picking that up. And same thing if this is, I'm speaking to a single Virgo and you're interested in like being vulnerable and putting yourself out there. If every single person you connect with, whether it's out in the 3D world or on an online app, you already have this attitude, even if it's through an online app, people pick up energy. And if you don't believe me, how the hell do you think tarot collective readings resonate so well with 100, 200, 600,000 people that watch them? Because there are some channels on YouTube, some readers, and I love them. They're in the 7, 8, 900,000 subscriber count. How do all those people resonate? They're not talking one-on-one with that tarot reader, but there's an exchange of energy, believe it or not. That's why we say collective, because we're reading for the people that are like subscribed, and actually there's an exchange of energy here between you and I. Even though you're the only one who can see me, I'm still tapping into your energy. There's still an exchange here. And so even if it's just on an online dating profile, if you're just swiping left, right, left, right, left, right without a care in the world, the person on the other end feels it the same way you do. If you're really paying attention and you match with someone and you start talking to them, most people know within a couple of minutes, this person's not interested. This is another clown. This person's not interested in me. They're not interested in a long-term connection or whatever it is that you're looking for. So just like you can pick up on that, other people can pick that up from you as well. So there's something here about you utilizing, and not just utilizing your intuition, but almost like elevating it, like rising to a higher frequency. And I don't think I'm telling you anything you don't know, especially with the High Priestess card. I feel like I've tapped into a group of you that you're probably sitting there nodding your head like, she's kind of right. So there's like fear of rejection, fear of abandonment, fear of not being good enough. And believe it or not, that's how you energetically show up when you're connecting with these people, whether they're professional, platonic, or romantic connections. There's a need here to like put an end to that. Get on that dating app like you are going to find your forever person, if that's what you're looking for. Walk into that interview like it's already yours. Let's get 3 cards of advice here, please, for Virgo. Judgment. Listen to your inner calling. Judgment is about listening to your inner calling. Ace of Pentacles and the Queen of Cups. I love this. Bottom of the deck, 6 of Pentacles. Invest in you. Invest in the new beginning that you want, whether that's in career and finance, love and romance, platonic connections. Do not allow your past to put you in a victim or defeatist mentality that because that didn't work out, nothing else will. Keep your eye on the prize, whatever that hierophant is for you. Relationship, friendships, family connection, loveship, higher level of commitment. Keep your eye on the prize and stay high vibrational. I would do daily affirmations every morning. I heard, and I forgot who said it. It was some interview I was watching on YouTube, and they said the song you listen to, first song you listen to in the morning sets your mood, your frequency for the rest of the day. So even though I typically wake up sometime between 4 a.m. and 6 a.m. every day, 7 days a week, I still set an alarm clock to a happy song. Every night before I go to bed, I pick some other happy song because I want a happy song to be the first thing I listen to that I hear when I wake up in the morning. And then I go to the bathroom and I start getting ready for my day, and I have a daily affirmation there. And if you go to my website, thetimelinetarot.com, and you click on resources, there's a link there. It's free. It has 30 or 31 daily affirmations. You could print them out. You could put them in your Google Calendar. You could put them in your phone. When you wake up in the morning, you look in the mirror and you say one of the daily affirmations. And I think they're numbered for like every day of the month. And doing that for 30 days will completely change. It will begin to change how you see yourself. Because there's something here about having low confidence or low self-esteem, regardless of how you present yourself in the world. Like there are people who might think like, oh, Virgo's an emperor, Virgo's an empress. They're not. Virgo is wounded on the inside. And most people are energetically picking up on that. Even though you're looking in the mirror and you're like, I look good today. But energetically, some of you are entering these connections, or like I said, these conversations or these interviews, et cetera, just feeling like it's going to be another blow. It's going to be another tower. I don't even know why I'm bothering. And yeah, people pick up on that. So there's a need here for you to invest in raising your vibration. Daily affirmation, listen to a happy song at the start of the day, daily affirmation, meditation, walks in nature. If you know that's something you can do, it's conducive to you and the environment or your weather. I don't know where some of you are. So maybe some of you are in the southern hemisphere in that respect. You're about a week shy of winter, so it might be too cold for you to do that. But there's definitely something here about you investing in you and raising your self-esteem and raising your confidence, so you can maintain a higher vibration, and that way you will attract what it is that you want. There's also something here about you tapping into your intuition and knowing that you deserve better and not settling for less, not thinking that that's the best you're ever going to get. So I'm just going to have to deal with one connection after another that fails and one job after another that, they pull the rug out from under me and they fire me. You need to tap into your intuition, because those fears, doubts, and insecurities are not coming from your intuition. You know better than that. They're coming from up here. They're coming from that Eight of Swords, that lack mentality. So if you tap into your intuition, you know exactly what you deserve, and you know exactly what you should be attracting and what you should be going for. So work on your self-esteem, self-confidence, my love, and raising your vibration, your frequency, and of course, utilizing your intuition, because I think that'll tell you that you deserve far better than what you've gone through. There's no need to settle for less. And I think in one of your readings, I said, you're kind of turning into Virgo 2.0. Chop, chop. Come on. It's time. The clock is ticking here, my friend. Let's go. Virgo 2.0. Invest in yourself and definitely become more in tune with your intuition, because whatever you've, settled for in the past, that does not have to dictate your future whatsoever. And I kind of think most of you know that already. So that's what I have for you, Virgo. I hope some of those messages resonated with you and helped you. Remember to check out all 4 of your placements, Sun, Moon, Rising, as well as Venus. If you're not sure what they are, in the description box is a link where you can obtain your free birth chart. Take a look at that site and then just come back here and click on the timestamp for the respective placement or placements that you wish to view. But if this is where we part for now, and you found this reading to be inspirational or helpful or hopeful or resonated in some way, please be sure to click like, share, and subscribe. And until I read for you again, I am wishing you light, love, and peace. Hello, Libra. I have been recording readings all day, so please excuse my scratchy, scratchy voice. Let's see what the divine would like you to focus on at this time. What does Libra need to focus on at this time? We have outsider's view. I feel like you're going through a particular situation, environment, or connection, and you might not be giving yourself the best advice on how to handle it. It's almost like you need to step out of it and look at it as, if that was my friend going through this, or that was my daughter going through this, or my son, or my whomever, what advice would I give them? Because I think it would be radically different than the advice you're currently giving yourself. At least that's the feeling here. Tell me more about this for Libra, Sun, Moon, Rising, as well as Venus. Bottom of the deck, King of Swords. Yeah. There's if whatever this is for you, Libra, if you were to give advice to someone else, you would show up as the King of Swords. Authentic, truthful, honest, and you would provide this person with great clarity. But when it comes to giving yourself the same advice, it's like that's not the advice you're giving yourself. Tell me more about this here for Libra. One more shuffle. Thank you. It's almost like if you had to give the advice to someone else, you would be stone cold, truthful, and honest. But that's not what you're being to yourself. 7 of Wands. It's almost like you're blocking the truth here. The Magician, the 3 of Pentacles, and Justice. Bottom of the deck, 3 of Swords, 10 of Swords, oh my God, 9 of Swords, 8 of Pentacles, and the Sun. Ace of Swords, bottom of the deck. I feel like you've gone through something, you're experiencing something really horrific. What that is different for all of you. Heartbreak, deception, lies, betrayal, infidelity, cheating, stabbed in the back. I mean, the Libra collective that I've tapped into right now, Sun, Moon, Rising, as well as Venus placements, are struggling to heal from something extremely traumatic that happened to them. And I don't want to be one of those tarot readers where I'm like overly dramatic, but 3 of Swords, 10 of Swords, 9 of Swords. That's a lot of swords. That's a lot of backstabbing, betrayal. That's a lot of heartache. That's a lot of grief. That's a lot of epiphanies and realizations. I mean, the Nine of Swords, the person has their head in the hands. I feel like this was happening to some of you for a long time. You just didn't even want to see it, right? You were thinking about it, but you're like, if I take my hands away from my eyes, I'm going to see it. I feel like you're currently giving your advice that you can magically fix this situation. If that's not your story, then just check another placement. But I've tapped into a group of you where you're like, well, I could work on this. I could fix this. It's almost like in that Seven of Wands, you don't want to hear any other outside opinion that's telling you to leave this. It's like, nope, I could fix this. I could restore stability here. I could work on this. I could manifest this back to health. Whatever this has been for you, if you had a trusted friend, a family member you love, a child of yours come to you and say, mom, dad, sister, brother, bestie, this is what I've just gone through, but I'm gonna make it all better. What's the advice you would tell that person? What is the true, raw, authentic, advice that you would give them? That's what you need to give yourself. Because I kind of feel like you're just hoping and praying everything will go back together again. And that's not possible. And you know that. If you were to step out of this situation, environment, or connection and have a more objective view, a more of an outsider view, you would agree with me. And most of you already clicked off of this video because you don't want to hear what I have to say. And that's okay. For the 2 or 3 of you that hung on, let's see where this reading goes. Seven of Wands. I feel like you may have had at least one person try to tell you to move on from the situation, environment, or connection. And you're like on guard, holding that wand, and you're like, don't come at me. Don't come at me, bro. Like, I don't want to hear it. I think some of you have already had at least one person. Knight of Pentacles, someone who is honest and independent and trustworthy, already told you to exit this, or this isn't healthy for you, or you can't fix this all on your own, right? It takes 2 people to make it, 2 people to break it. It can't take one person to put it, one person can't put Humpty Dumpty back together again. Tell me about the Seven of Wands here. You're resisting change. One more shuffle here. Thank you. Seven of Wands, the Emperor, the Ace of Cups, and the Devil. You're resisting anyone who doesn't tell you what you want to hear because you are obsessed. The Devil is Saturn in Capricorn. And every zodiac sign has high vibration, low vibration. And high vibration of Saturn in Capricorn, that Devil card, is someone who's obsessed with work and positive outcomes and reaching their goals. And it's a very dedicated, concentrated earth energy. But in the negative, that the low vibe of that Devil card is someone who is obsessed for all the wrong reasons with success. They're obsessed with success for all the wrong reasons. Codependency, lack or fear of abandonment, addiction, financial issues. I really believe that most of you have had someone, and that Emperor or / Empress could be anyone, a trusted friend, an advisor, a therapist, legal counsel, someone who of some authority has told you the truth. Ace of Cups, they've told you the truth with great love, not to hurt you, but because they don't want to see you hurt in this anymore. And you're just like, nope, I don't want to hear it. It's not what you're obsessed with taking an apple and turning it into an orange. It's just not possible. So 2 of Swords, you're blocking it out. La 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 la. I don't want to hear it. I'm going to manifest, and I'm going to make this, or I'm going to work my butt off until that person comes back to me, or I earn their trust. I almost feel like you're taking 100% of the accountability for what transpired here. Again, it takes 2 people to make it and 2 people to break it. Where's the other person? I don't see the other person here. I see you being the only one who thinks I can fix this and then right off into the sunset. How's that possible? Where's the person who betrayed you? They're not here. You're here not wanting to hear anyone who tells you anything other than, I love you, a distorted vision that you have, a distorted goal. I see you here manifesting the outcome you want. Three of Pentacles. I'm gonna work and bring back this, situation, environment, or connection. Justice, Libra energy. I'm in my power. I'm gonna work on this. I'm gonna ride off to the sunset. Where's the person who did this? Let's look. Tell me more about the person who did this. Three of Swords, 10 of Swords, 9 of Swords. My God. Says if you slept for 12 hours straight, you would still wake up tired. That's how much this is affecting you on the conscious and subconscious level in that 9 of Swords. This is mentally exhausting just for me as a reader to tap into this energy. I can't imagine the heartache you have been experiencing. Tell me about the person who caused this. One more shuffle here. Thank you. Page of Pentacles. The Tower. The High Priestess. Bottom of that, Queen of Wands. The Fool. The Hierophant. For some of you, it could be someone that you were married to or you had a long-term commitment with. For others of you, I'm gonna read this now 2 different ways. I'll see if I get a third message. Message number 1, the person who did this to you is someone you either had a higher level of commitment with in that Hierophant card, or someone you wanted a higher level of commitment with. Your intuition was screaming at you for at least the last year, for most of you, or up to the last year, that something was wrong in this connection. And you ignored your intuition. You didn't want to see it. You didn't want to hear it. You just wanted to keep moving forward in this commitment or towards this commitment. And then it's almost like when you weren't looking, you received some kind of information, data, Page of Pentacles, and it caused the Tower. The High Priestess is sitting here with her arms out like, oh my God, what just happened? You know what just happened. The High Priestess holds the book of knowledge. You saw the red flags. But you ignored your intuition. So who's this person? Someone who deceived you, but also someone who you knew they were keeping secrets in that Moon card, and you didn't want to see it or believe it. Right behind that is a Queen of Pentacles. I got a Queen of Wands and a Queen of Pentacles. For some of you, your person had another person, maybe a couple other people, and you didn't want to see it. You didn't want to believe it. Everything's fine as long as I keep working and fixing myself and being a better Libra. And maybe if I got a job, maybe if I lost weight, maybe if I wasn't, maybe. There's no maybe here. You're taking the full brunt of this. Could you be 50%, to blame? Sure. Why not? It's a partnership. But 100? Why are you taking on 100? This person's not taking on 100. This person has yet to show up here fully. They've emotionally checked out of this connection. I can tell you that much. You could try manifesting them back all you want. This person is already emotionally checked out. That's why all of this happened. I'm not going to be the reader that tells you what you want to hear, but I will be the reader that tells you what you need to hear. And maybe what you need is an outsider's view. Hello, outsider. It's my view. The second message that I had here was that for some of you, this is a wound that goes back to childhood in that Page of Pentacles energy, where something devastating, tragic, heartbreaking, in that Three of Swords, I almost said Three of Cups. So maybe for some of you, it's between you and family, people that you loved and trusted, broke your heart and betrayed you over and over and over again. You still think about it to this day. You are not healed from that trauma. And you end up in connections that are extremely toxic because you have some type of attachment style, whether you are, I could be speaking to a Libra where you have a anxious attachment style because of all the heartache in childhood. I'm not blaming you for why your person did this to you. I'm trying to explain why you're showing up in connections the way you are. So anxious attachment style is someone who needs constant validation from their person because they're so afraid that at any moment the other shoe's going to drop and they're going to feel Three of Swords, 10 of Swords. So it becomes a very toxic connection. Anxious attachment is something that I suffered from, and I was able to work with my partner and a therapist and actually heal this wound within me. I constantly needed the validation, not to feed my ego, but to soothe my fears because of, you know, connections I had in the past. So if that's resonating for you, any connection that you end up in will eventually lead to Three of Swords, Ten of Swords, because every time your intuition tells you that something is wrong, you ignore it, and you ignore it because you don't want to feel the pain of what's happening. Instead, you latch on to the person harder and tighter. And by doing that, you totally block out your intuition. You don't want to see that this connection isn't working out. I don't want to see it because then I got a feeling, then I'm feeling that all over again. I already felt that when I was 5 years old, you know, that kind of feeling. And it just becomes this cascading thing. And so you get locked into a toxic connection where someone could lie to you and cheat on you. But as long as they're giving you that, they're soothing your anxious attachment, saying, I love you, everything's fine. You're like, okay, I'm going to ignore the other 101 red flags that I'm seeing right now. I'm going to suppress my intuition because they just keep telling me they love me and everything's fine. It's almost like you give them permission to gaslight you. That's a wound within you need to heal. For others of you, it's the reverse. Because of what you've gone through in the past, you have an avoidant attachment style. I'm not blaming you for what your person did. I'm just telling you what's here in the message. And for some of you, because of what happened in childhood, you don't actually allow yourself to open up and be vulnerable to a partner. I'm not blaming you for why your partner cheated on you or whatever transpired here. But being an avoidant in a connection is a real toxic trait, and it can lead to an unfortunate ending in a connection, because avoidance usually causes the Three of Swords or Ten of Swords. They trigger the Tower, because once they start feeling too much for the person, they leave. They'll concoct 101 different reasons in their head why that person wasn't good enough for them, and they'll cheat, or they'll be the one to leave or prematurely exit the relationship because they don't want to look at the wound within themselves. So whenever they start feeling too much for a person, they do something to irrevocably change the connection. It's almost like, I got to leave you before you leave me, because I'm not going to feel that again, because I know you'll eventually do that to me because everyone else did that. So take them as just how they resonate to you. For some of you, your person did this to you. And for others of you, and there's a reason why, again, why they did it to you, you kind of saw, but you suppressed your intuition. And there's a couple different reasons there why you did that. And for others of you, you did this to your person because the relationship started feeling really good. And you didn't like when it felt good because you were afraid that eventually the person would do to you what everyone in the past did to you. So take them as just how they resonate to you. So let's say you're the avoidant attachment style here. You saying, okay, I got to exit this relationship. I just figured out 101 ways in my head, not listening to my intuition, not looking at that wound from childhood, right? I'm just going to blame the person for this ending or why I did what I did. And I'm going to leave, and then I'm going to work towards another connection. Same thing's going to happen. Same damn thing is going to play out. And if you're honest with yourself, the past X number of connections you had all ended like this, and it was all caused by you because you prematurely exited and just thought grass is greener on the other side. Grass is greener on the other side. Grass is greener where you water it. But you have to be dedicated to watering it. That means you got to be vulnerable and leave your house and go outside and turn on the sprinkler. So if you're an avoidant, leaving this and just moving on to the next thing, working on the next connection, you're gonna have the same result, honey. There's a wound here you need to heal. And for others of you where you were suppressing your intuition, and this person did this to you, you can't fix this by ignoring what happened. You can't take 100% of the blame for this, and you can't take on 100% of the responsibility to fix this either. I know you want to, because that's easier than leaving, but you're staying for all the wrong reasons. I want to get advice for the avoidance, and then I want to get advice for those of you where it happened, to you. So for the Libras who experience this, 3 cards of advice. If you're a Libra and you experience this and you're out of it, you're not hoping to fix it and stuff, it's just not your reading, or you're just ahead of the collective. And good on you. Not good on you. I mean, you learned some hard lessons, but you've already, progressed forward in that respect. Check your other placements. But this is for a group of Libras where they're still in the thick of it. So for the Libras who think that they can fix this, their person did this to them. They didn't want to see the warning signs, and now they're hell-bent on taking all the blame, or the majority of it, and wanting to fix it. What's the advice for them? 3 cards, please. One more shuffle. Thank you. 3 cards for those Libras. 8 of Cups. Can't make it up. Sail away, sail away, sail away. The Hierophant. Leave this connection, this marriage. 4 of Pentacles. Bottom of the deck, 5 of Swords. And the 5 of Swords, the person's walking away. Star card, 6 of Swords. There's better out there for you. Walk away from this long-term commitment. It's barely giving you any stability. 4 Pentacles in a marriage or long-term committed relationship is peanuts in terms of commitment. This person has no loyalty for you. They'll end up doing this to you again. I don't care what they tell you or how much therapy you go to with them. This person is giving you bare bones 4 Pentacles, and I'm not telling you anything you don't know. This person will do it again. They are not dedicated to rebuilding this connection, this marriage. They don't even want the same higher level of commitment that you want. Your advice here is to gather your emotional strength. Don't even fight for it. Move along in your journey. Heal. Yeah, move on. Keep going. Look at this. It's like you have another soulmate. You have another soulmate waiting for you. Whether you know this, oh my God, whether you know this person or not, you have a perfect pair here. What are you doing? You have someone else here. You have someone else here. That's all I'm going to tell you. And it ain't this person. Okay. Now, 3 cards of advice for my avoidance, where you caused this ending, because truth be told, you are afraid of long-term connection. You sabotage it in some way. And it's a repetitive cycle for you. You kind of go from connection to connection doing this. 3 cards of advice for those Libras. 3 cards of advice. One more shuffle. Thank you. 3 of Wands. Knight of Wands. Judgment. Bottom of the deck. Knight of Swords. Death. Wow, look at that. Lovers. Before you move on to your next connection, before you move forward in the 3 of Wands, wait, stop, pause. Judgment call. Go within. Judgment means listening to our inner calling. Why do you show up in relationships as a Knight of Wands? What makes you fearful of showing up as a King of Wands? Who, an individual who would be in it for the long run. There's something here about going back, having an honest conversation with yourself in this Knight of Swords energy about the truth of the matter of why the connections all end one after another is because you sabotage them in some way because you're afraid of love or you're afraid of commitment. You need to go back to you and figure out why you do that. What happened in your past that made you afraid to love or afraid to trust? And so why do you show up in such inconsistent energy? There's something here that you need to heal within you, kind of kill off that wound. Kind of, it's almost like you can't even just spray for this weed. You got to kind of get in there and you're pulling weeds. You got to pull it out by the root. Got to get to the bones of this. Figure out where it came from, why you show up that way. Heal this part of yourself and then move towards, and then you actually have a divine connection come in and you'll be ready. Because instead of showing up as a Knight of Wands, look, you're going to show up as a King of Wands. But you're not going to show up as a King of Wands until you heal that wound within you. And you have a match here waiting for you. And it might be, this past person or one of the past people. I don't know. I'm not doing that deep dive of a read for you. But if you don't heal this wound, honey, it's just going to keep happening over and over again. That's what I have for you, Libra. There's a need here for you to take an outsider's view, regardless of what is transpiring here for you or which message here resonated with you. And if you really need an unbiased outsider's view, you just got one. If that message resonated with you in any way or you found it to be helpful, please be sure to click like, share, and subscribe. And until I read for you again, my dear, I am wishing you light, love, and peace. Hello, my moon bebes. I've been recording readings all day, so please mind my extremely scratchy voice right now. What does the divine want you to focus on at this time? Look at that. Inspiration. Why inspiration for Scorpio, Sun, Moon, Rising, as well as Venus? Scorpio, I do suggest that you watch all 4 of your placements, Sun, Moon, Rising, as well as Venus. Just take the parts of those messages that resonate best with your current journey, and then you could kind of craft your own personal message out of it. It's kind of like the ability to get a personal reading without paying for one. So hopefully that'll help some of you on a budget. Tell me more about inspiration here for Scorpio, Sun, Moon, Rising, as well as Venus. Bottom of the deck, 4 of Pentacles. 4 of Pentacles, Justice. Something here regarding your stability. Tell me more about this here for Scorpio, Sun, Moon, Rising, as well as Venus. One more shuffle now. Thank you. 5 of Cups, the Devil, the Chariot, the 2 of Cups. Bottom of the deck, Justice, the Hermit, 2 of Pentacles. There's something here with your structure and stability. I don't think this is going to be a very in-depth reading for you, my dear. You have a partnership in your life. You have this soulmate, soul bond connection. For some of you, you have take the messages how they resonate, right? For some of you, you've had like emotional disappointments in this relationship. Your person, the interactions between the 2 of you makes you feel at times not good enough, or in lack, or emotional abandonment, or maybe you show up in a way that is not helpful to the connection. And so then you could be left with some remorse and regret for your actions or words. So take it how it resonates to you. You have a connection here in your life, a soulmate, soul bond connection. I feel like it goes back and forth, but again, if it's not your message, don't take it. But it's like sometimes your person does, this person does or says something that wounds you. Other times you do or say something that wounds that person. Then I have like another group of you where you still have this soulmate, soul bond connection, but it's like periods of like maybe like toxicity enter the connection or destabilize the connection. Whether you're still in it or you're healing from this connection ending, I kind of feel like you need to get refocused here and move forward on balancing your money. Like whether you're in the hermit mode here and wanting to heal this for yourself so you could show up as like a better Scorpio in your next connection, or whether you're doing some soul searching on how you and your person can heal the connection because you don't want to lose it. There's still something here about moving forward to like towards some type of inspiration, idea. It could be a business opportunity. I want to clarify this a little bit more. It's almost like you're letting this get in the way of your finances or long-term stability or long-term growth. Sometimes I see the 2 of Pentacles as someone who's got to like rob from Peter to pay Paul, or rob from Paul to pay Peter, however that saying goes. Like I got to juggle. This month I'm going to pay the electricity bill on time, but the telephone bill will be 2 weeks late. And then next month it changes. I'll pay the telephone bill on time, but the electricity will be 2 weeks late. There's something here like you're allowing this connection, whether it's still in your life or you're healing from its ending, to affect your financial stability. And I think if you did some soul searching, you would be like, huh, yeah, she's right. All right. I want to know 5 of Cups. Why is the 5 of Cups here? One more shuffle. Thank you. 5 of Cups, the Moon, the High Priestess, and the Queen of Cups. So whoever this person is, clearly you love them, either loved, past tense, or present, right? Because we're all on different timelines. But you still hold love for this person. There's, for most of you, don't hate me in the comments, don't come at me. Most of you, that doesn't mean all, most still hopes that this person comes back, or if they're still in your life, you still hope that the connection can move forward and have victory and success and all of that. For others of you, you're kind of waiting for this person to come back, or you hope that they will one day. There's a lot of emotions here in that Moon card, to the 5 of Cups, to the Queen of Cups. So I think there's a lot of love here. There's also, it's like when we're good, we're great. And when we're bad, it's bottoms out, right? It's highly emotional. There's tears. I feel betrayed. I feel abandoned. I'm speaking like you. And when it's good, it's like, oh my God, I want to marry this person and spend the rest of my life with them. So you're allowing this connection to interfere with your finances. Tell me about the Devil. Curious about the Devil here. I think that's the toxicity here. The toxicity here is affecting your money. So you have a twofold problem here. You have an issue with this person, And whether they're still in your life or not, they're also affecting your money. Tell me about the devil. One more shuffle. Thank you. Nine of Swords, Hangman, and the Knight of Swords. Bottom of the deck, Ten of Wands. See, some of you are still waiting for communication from this person. There's still remorse and regret here. There's sadness, there's loss, there's grief. You're pining for this person. You're waiting for this person. You think about this person all the time. And you're waiting for communication from them. You're waiting for them to come towards you. You're waiting for reconciliation. But in the meantime, you're not focusing really on your money or being very productive when it comes to your financial like inspiration and goals and stuff like that. For others of you, this person is still in your life, but you spend a lot of time thinking about them and waiting for them, like in an obsessive state. So in that respect, I could be speaking to a Scorpio where like you're kind of glued to your phone and you're waiting for the next text message, next text message, next text message, or next phone call, or the next visit, or whatever. But you could be utilizing that time so much better to enhance your finances. Yeah, it's like you could find balance, whether it's finding balance because I no longer have the connection in my life. I'm going to still heal from this ending, but simultaneously, I still need to work on my money. You can't just keep sitting around waiting for this person to come back and right the wrongs that they did or whatever happened here. And then for others of you where you still, like I said, have this connection, you need to find balance in this temperance energy of reuniting with this person or rejoicing with them or having fun experiences with them, but also working on your money. You can't put all of your pentacle eggs in this basket, whether they're currently in your life or not. Tell me about the Two of Pentacles here. Some of you have a very like inspirational thing you want to do and you haven't been doing it because you've been wasting a lot of time with that person. So tell me about the Two of Pentacles. And then we'll see what it is that you want to have victory with. Ace of Cups. It's like you're putting money over your financial security. There's a way to balance both. There's a way to do both. One more shuffle here, please, and thank you. Knight of Wands, Queen of Wands, Page of Wands. Look at all of that. Six of Swords. Oh, God. So the cat toy went off. So I think that goes off in almost all of your readings lately. Jesus, scared of Jesus out of me. You have an inspirational idea here you want to move towards. Learn a skill, expand the skill, launch a business, expand the business. This could be painting, taking a cooking class, going on vacation, like take it how it's going on a cruise, like take it how it resonates to you. There's something here that you want to do and you pour almost no pentacle energy into it, or bare minimum pentacle energy at work, bare minimum pentacle energy in traveling, bare minimum pentacle energy in even taking care of yourself. Don't be offended at that. Maybe that's not your message, but it is for one person watching. Bare minimum energy in starting your own business or discovering how to start your own business. Or if you're already an entrepreneur in the Queen of Wands, how to expand your business or just even being dedicated to your business. It's like there's something here that you want to do that you're not moving forward on. Look, because you're waiting for this bozo. Sorry, cross-watcher. You're waiting for Bozo the Clown. I say that with great love. If you were watching my readings last year, every time the King of Cups came up, I referred to him as Bozo the Clown. I don't know why I was doing that back then. I think the deck of cards I was using actually depicted him, and he kind of looked like Bozo the Clown. Anyway, there's something here that you want to move forward on and do. And you're not, and for most of you, it's financially focused. And you're not doing it because you keep waiting for this person. Show up with an offer, an apology, reconciliation, a gift, so you can spend time with them, text messages. No, 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 no. Chariot. Tell me about the Chariot here. It's almost like, well, I'll do that and I'll take care of that when this gets fixed. Or it's like you put this off until this person comes back or the relationship gets better or we're together, or I'll spend 5 hours waiting for this person to text me. But after they text me, then I'll get to my work or then I'll get to the things I need to do. No, no, no. This is toxic. This is toxic. Toxic codependency. Tell me about the Chariot here. Four of Swords. Yeah, I just said toxic codependency, and what comes out? Four of Swords. This is a wound within you, my love, that you need to heal. If you want to get mad and unsubscribe, go right ahead. Say la vie. What am I going to do? But for those of you who actually want to hear the message, you need to heal this wound within you. If you're meant to be with this person and vice versa, or they're meant to come back to you or whatever, it's going to happen. There's no need for you to put off making money and opening your own business or learning a new skill or going out with your friends or, you know what I mean, taking care of yourself. You cannot spend the rest of your life waiting for this person to get it right. That's a wound within you you need to heal. Seven of Pentacles. Look at all of this. Knight of Pentacles. Your forward movement, and for most of you it has to do with your finances, is on hold. Knight of Pentacles, Seven of Pentacles. That's a wound within you you need to heal, my darling. That's a lot of wasted time there. And I'm not telling you not to wait for this person. I'm not telling you to, you know, if this person's in your life that you should ignore them or you should, but you need to strike a healthy balance. I love the Six of Pentacles in your deck. Oh, there's Bozo, King of Cups. There's something here about having to strike a healthy balance between a connection in your life and your long-term goals. Because you have some great inspirational ideas that you want to do, places you want to go, and you know, things you want to experience, and businesses you want to build, and all of this stuff, and you're not moving on them. You're like frozen. This is a lot of stuck energy. Hangman, Nine of Swords, Four of Swords, Seven of Pentacles, Knight of Pentacles. This is slow. And you need to kind of chop here. Knight of Wands, Queen of Wands, Page of Wands, Six of Swords. Like, let's go, 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 go. Three of Wands, let's move forward. Let's turn that Three of Wands from waiting to moving forward. Again, not telling you not to wait for this person or talk to this person, but you have some great inspirational ideas here and you're kind of doing nothing with them. So there's something here like you need to get back to fulfilling this dream or this goal of yours and striking a healthy balance between this connection or a connection in your life and your forward movement in respect to your mission or purpose, or again, something here that you're inspired to do. No more putting it on the back burner. That's what I have for you, Scorpio. Remember to check out all four placements. If that message didn't resonate with you, I'm sorry. Check another one. But if it did, I will appreciate it. Like, share, comment, or subscribe. And of course, until I read for you again, my moon babies, I wish you a lot of luck with striking a healthy balance. And until I read for you again, I'm sending you light, love, and peace. Hello, Sagittarius. Let's see what the divine would like you to focus on at this time. You have reason. Tell me more about reason here for Sagittarius, Sun, Moon, Rising, as well as Venus. Bottom of the deck, King of Cups. Let's get one more shuffle here, please, and thank you. We have the Five of Swords, the Four of Wands, the Five of Pentacles, and the Page of Swords. Bottom of the deck, we have the Empress, the Five of Wands, and the Queen of Swords. That leaves the Three of Swords, Strength, and the Chariot here at the bottom of the deck. I feel like some of you are in a situation, environment, or connection in your life, and it's almost like you want to depart from it. You want to cut it off. You want to begin again. You want to focus on another area or aspect of your life. But it's almost like you're looking for justification why you should do that, why you should inquire on cutting out this situation, environment, or connection and moving forward. And the divine wants you to focus on not that you need a reason to do this. You already have a reason to do this. Five of Swords. The situation, environment, or connection has a lot of arguments or disagreements, a lot of cutting words. Five of Pentacles. Either you have abandoned it, it has abandoned you. There's a feeling here of lack. It doesn't make you feel good enough. It's almost like, I really want this to work out. So I'm looking for a reason why I should leave, but all your reasons are here. Five of Swords, Five of Pentacles, Five of Wands, Three of Swords. You already know why you should cut this person out of your life or walk away from this situation or change the environment. Even though you want it to be the Four of Wands, you want it to be successful, you want, you know, the happiness and the stability, and you want to be able to rejoice. Please excuse my voice. I did readings all day today, so it's extremely scratchy at this point. But you already have a reason. You don't need to find another one. This has already been a heartbreaking situation, environment, or connection for you. And I noticed that like this is your energy here, right? Emperor or Empress. I don't read body parts, only energy. The Emperor is looking away from all of the reasons. He's looking here. All of the reasons are here. The Queen of Swords is looking at a document. Like I'm looking for a reason, but the reasons are all here. It's almost like you don't want to acknowledge them. Like you need another reason. That's what it feels like to me. So if it's not your message, just check another placement, Sun, Moon, Rising, as well as Venus. In fact, I encourage you to watch all four and draw from each of them the aspects of those readings that resonate with you best. And then you can kind of create your own personal reading without actually getting a personal reading. But for those of you who are resonating with this, you're waiting for another reason to move forward. But I feel like you have all the reasons. You just maybe don't want to see them. Tell me about the Five of Swords. What is this Five of Swords? This is conflict, disagreements, arguments. Could be lies, could be betrayal there in the Five of Swords. One more shuffle here. Thank you. What's the Five of Swords? The Queen of Wands, the King of Wands, and the Hangman. So Two of Cups at the bottom of the deck. So this is concerning some kind of partnership for you. Now, if you want to take it as a situation or a living environment or even work, you certainly can. I'm going to read this as some type of soulmate, soul bond connection. I don't know if this is your person, your counterpart. It could be. I often see Queen of Wands and King of Wands as soulmates, especially with that Two of Cups there. So this person could be a friend, could be a family member, certainly could be a business associate, or maybe even a business partner, since the Queen and King of Wands are known to be entrepreneurs and business builders. And for others of you, this is more of a romantic partner. But there hasn't been much success with this connection lately. It's almost like the connection, whatever it is, has been on hold in the Hangman energy. It's like we had this conflict and then we never revisited the conflict. So either we had an argument and we really haven't spoken about the argument, or we had this argument or disagreement and we kind of went silent on one another. So that's the first thing I have there. Then I have the Five of Pentacles. So following this discussion, confrontation, argument, etc., someone here abandoned the other, left the other out in the cold, or left the other feeling like they were in lack. One more shuffle here. Thank you. Further clarified, 10 of Cups, 6 of Wands, and Judgment. So in this connection that at some point, either you had the 10 of Cups with this person and you had victory and success in this connection, or that's something that you wanted, right? It's going to be different for all of you. But someone made the judgment call, either you or them, to walk away and abandon this connection. Either emotionally withdraw from it or physically, like, move on from it. Three of Swords. Why is the Three of Swords here? One more shuffle here, please, and thank you. Three of Swords is clarified by the Celestial Weaver, the Magician, and the Empress. Bottom of deck, Page of Pentacles. I feel like the Three of Swords here is being clarified by the individual who, I don't typically like Celestial Weaver, the Magician, to the Three of Swords, because that tells me that someone here engaged in manipulation or gaslighting or some type of betrayal. That's a lot of energetic use to create heartbreak. So it almost seems intentional in a way. Like, so this person communicated with you in ways to deceive you, or this person made you believe that you could have the 10 of Cups with them and the 6 of Wands, but behind your back, they were actively betraying you. So this is just a highly manipulative energy for me right now. Like, if someone stepped into their power and didn't use it for good. It's a bit of a selfish energy here, which led to your heartbreak. I'm going to guess that this is not you. Because I feel like you're looking for a reason to leave. You're still looking for a reason to leave despite everything that this person has done to you. So cutting words, not being on the same page, a pause or separation or some type of emotional disconnection. We were good, or we could have had it all, or we did have it all, but then again, this person then made the judgment call to emotionally disconnect or possibly physically walk out of the connection. Your heartbreak comes from this person using, almost like using your love for them against you to like betray you or string you along or make you believe something that wasn't real. And then we have the Five of Wands. Why is the Five of Wands here? One more shuffle here, please, and thank you. The Five of Wands is clarified by the Tower, the Four of Cups, and the Nine of Wands. For some of you, this person put you in competition with someone else. So it could have been a third party. That's maybe for one person watching. Or this was just this person making you feel like your love was, made you feel like the love was unrequited or one-sided. And I feel like this relationship has had at least one other Tower moment prior to this one. For some of you, this all plays on repeat with this person. You come together, there's some happiness here in the Four of Wands, or the projection or promise of happiness, and then there's a disagreement, we separate or we don't talk. So, he, she, whoever this other person is, they emotionally disconnect. You reflect on it, you realize this person's been manipulating you, possibly putting you in competition with someone else. If it's not that, then they just make you feel rejected or neglected and they're not tending to your needs. And then it's like rinse and repeat. So for some of you, it's a pattern in that Nine of Wands energy. And yet through all of this, you're still like, but I need a reason. I need an Ace of Pentacles, a tangible reason to leave. This person has given you every conceivable reason why they should no longer be in your life. I don't think you need to search for another one. They've already, like, you're searching here, the Queen of Swords, Page of Swords. This is inquiry, and the Queen in this deck is looking at documents. The Emperor, which is your energy, whether you're masculine or feminine, I got to find one more reason to leave this person. Why? I need one more. If I find out this one thing, as if all this other stuff they did to you isn't reason enough. Yeah, as if I just need one more thing. That's the feeling that I get here. And what the divine wants you to focus on, Saggy, is this person has already given you all the reasons you need. Queen of Swords. You have the ability to cut this person out. You're choosing not to, because it's like, I just need one more thing. It's like, this is just an example. Let's say this person had an affair, okay? Let's say they had multiple affairs. It's just an example. And it's like, they disconnected from me. We had a big fight about this third party. Again, just an example. I'm not seeing this in the cards. I just want you to understand the message that's coming through to me. So I find out this person has another person. We argue about it. They emotionally disconnect. I realize I've been gaslit by them and strung along and lied to. This is a pattern. They've cheated on me over and over again. But if I find out that they cheat on me one more time, then I'm out. Like that's the example that's being given to me. And it's like, why do they need to do it one more time? Whatever this has been, they've done it over and over again to you. Do you really need like the 10th sword in your back? You know what I mean? You already have 5 swords, 3 swords, which is 8. The Queen is already aware of this, so there's 9. Do you really, Page of Swords, need to find the 10th sword? Like this person has to stab you in the back 10 times for you to leave? Or betray you 10 times? Tell me about the Queen of Swords here. Why is the Queen of Swords here? One more shuffle here, please, Anne. Thank you. 7 of Cups, 6 of Pentacles, Ace of Cups. I just need one more reason. And then 3 of Wands, I can move on. I just need one more reason. It's like you're data mining, mining for data, looking for proof. And you're putting a lot of pentacle energy into this. I just need one more. I know that they've done this to me. Let's say 7 of Cups. This was each affair or each lie or each whatever. But if I just find one more, if I just get tangible proof of one more, then I'm out. Honey, I think you have all the reasons you need to leave behind whomever or whatever this is. Let's get 3 cards of advice for you, Saggy. 3 cards of advice here for Sagittarius. Yeah, I don't think you need one more reason, honey. I think this person has already proven themselves to you. It just, you know, the way you're looking away, it's like, but I don't want to see it. I think you need to see it. I'm sorry. 3 cards of advice here. One more shuffle. Thank you. The Chariot, the Hermit, the Wheel of Fortune, 3 major arcana cards, the Ace of Wands. Move towards the new. Move towards the new. Focus on your healing. If you actually go within and in your quiet time, really reflect on this connection, you'll know exactly what direction you need to move in. And that direction for most of you is moving on from this person. The Wheel of Fortune card in the deck I used for you is a little reminiscent to me of the original Rider-Waite-Smith Tarot deck of the Ace of Pentacles. Because if you look in the background of the Ace of Pentacles, there's like an archway. So it's like your opportunity to the 10 of Pentacles. This is, again, an archway here in the Wheel of Fortune card in the deck I used for you. And this person is slowly making their way to it. So I feel like if you actually, in your quiet time, do some serious contemplation and introspection and some soul searching about this situation, I think you'll accept or at least acknowledge to yourself that this person has given you every reason you need to move on from them. And that Ace of Wands tells me that is the truth. That's what I have for you, Saggy. That was not an easy read there for you. Yeah, if you're looking for one more reason, I'm just curious. Page of Swords. What will the Page of Swords find out? Yeah, I feel like it's like if I just find out they're cheating on me one more time, then I'm out. If I find out they lied to me one more time, I'm out. What's that Page of Swords looking for? One more shuffle? Or what will they find? Page of Cups. 10 of Pentacles. Are you trying to find out if this person still has another person or they're investing in another connection? That's kind of what it looks like here. You're looking for definitive proof that this person has moved on in another direction or is investing in another connection, or maybe isn't leaving a family if this is a third party thing and you're waiting for them to leave someone. It's like you're looking for definitive proof. You're not trusting your intuition on this. Look, intuition to the Six of Swords. You're not trusting your intuition to move on from this. You're looking for definitive proof that this person is that this person is investing elsewhere. I kind of think they've shown you that they already have or they already are. But you're going to need to tap into your intuition on this, honey, with that Hermit to the High Priestess. Yeah, you're looking for one more reason. And I think the divine is telling you this person is giving you all the reasons that you need. That's what I have for you, Saggy. Be sure to check your other 4 placements or your other 3 placements, Sun, Moon, Rising, as well as Venus. If you found this reading to be helpful to you or resonated with you in some way, please be sure to click like, share, and subscribe. And until I read for you again, I am wishing you light, love, and peace. Hello, Capricorn. Let's see what the divine would like you to focus on at this time. We have pattern. Tell me more about pattern here for Capricorn. What do they need to focus on pattern at this time? Why do they need to focus on pattern at this time for Capricorn, Sun, Moon, Rising, as well as Venus? One more shuffle. Thank you. The first card out is the Empress. The second card out is the Seven of Swords. We then have the King of Swords, and we have the Hangman. Bottom of the deck, Knight of Cups, 5 of Swords, and 8 of Pentacles. We then have the 8 of Wands. There's something here about a communication pattern in the Capricorn collective. Now, if this isn't resonating with you, I suggest you see another placement. I did set the intention of this reading to be for your Sun, Moon, Rising, as well as your Venus placements. If you're not sure what those placements are, in the description box is a link where you can obtain your free birth chart. Take a look at that website and then just come back here and click on the timestamp for the respective placement or placements that you wish to view. But if you are resonating with this message, there's something here with a communication pattern, which when you are triggered, you default to this pattern. It could be a way, just like a response for some of you. It could, like your reaction response. It's like something gets triggered and maybe you lash out, or you could say some unkind words or further sabotage the connection. I want to clarify a few more cards. Tell me about the Seven of Swords. Tell me about these Seven of Swords. I feel like in many aspects of your life, Capricorn, you show up as an empress or emperor, regardless of your gender. I don't read body parts, I only read energy. So I feel like in many aspects of your life, you are very much in control and like at the top of your game. But when you're conversing with an individual or having some type of issue with them, I probably should say issue or conflict. That's probably better. If something transpires during that communication or that interaction that triggers something from your past, your default is to become so reactionary that you can actually verbally wound the other individual. Tell me more about the Seven of Swords here for Capricorn. One more shuffle here, please, Anne. Thank you. Seven of Swords is being clarified by the Hermit, the Ten of Wands, and the Nine of Swords. Oh, bottom of the deck, Three of Swords. So regardless if this is like with in a professional setting, like with colleagues or coworkers or clients, or platonic connections like friends or neighbors or family members, and maybe for others of you, it's in regards to love. But I almost feel like you tolerate things maybe longer than you should. Maybe that's the pattern for some of you, right? In that hangman energy. I tolerate more than I should. I don't really speak up when I should. So I suppress all of this stuff. It plays on repeat in my mind. Nine of Swords. Nine of Swords is the lower octave of the devil. So it's a toxic energy in the sense of Eight of Swords is I'm thinking of something on repeat that really bothers me over and over again during the day. But then the Nine of Swords is it's that same thing is on repeat at night. So whether I'm consciously aware that I'm thinking of it at night and therefore I'm not really sleeping thoroughly, or I'm sleeping for an hour or two and then I'm abruptly waking up and then I'm going back to sleep for an hour or two. So it's like intermittent sleep, or maybe even could cause insomnia. For others of you, you could sleep 10 hours and still wake up in the morning tired, and that's because in your subconscious, whatever has transpired here kind of plays on repeat in your mind, kind of like a hamster on a wheel. So it's like when I have a situation with a individual in my life and I don't address it, and I just keep suppressing it, and it builds up. I think about it all the time. It becomes very burdensome for me. And then I get triggered again, and then it's like an avalanche of hurt basically comes out of my mouth. Seven of Swords and the Three of Swords is Ten of Swords. And your words can be quite cutting when you respond in that way. So there's something here about going within in this Hermit energy, doing some soul searching, some self-introspection to look at, one, why do I not address an issue when it originally bothers me? I could be speaking to a Capricorn where you're a bit of a people pleaser and you maybe don't like saying no for whatever reason. There's lots of reasons why people don't like saying no. They want to keep the peace. They want to be well liked. They don't want to look like the troublemaker. They don't want to look like they're nitpicking. They want to appear to be patient. There's lots of reasons, but learning to say no when you want to say no is actually a very healthy thing. So, or learning to speak out when you want to speak out is actually a healthy thing. And there's something here within you where maybe you want to be liked or you don't want to appear to be disgruntled. So you eat a lot of crow until there's, no more room left to swallow anymore. And then it's an explosive verbal volcano basically that erupts. So that's a pattern here within you. So it's like a twofold message to figure out why you're not addressing things immediately when they come up. And then two, why do you let them get to a point and build up to when you finally do react or respond? I mean, you verbally shred whoever this other individual is, and you could potentially maim the connection to the point where it's, the person walks away from you or the relationship disintegrates. And for some of you, that could be a pattern in some of your connections. I want to know about the Hangman. Why do you pause? It's like when there is a disturbance, I really don't say anything. I pause. I keep it to myself, right? Hermit, keep it to myself. Hangman, I keep it to myself. Why? Where does that come from for Capricorn, Sun, Moon, Rising, as well as Venus? Bottom of the deck, Ace of Swords. Ace of Swords to the Four of Pentacles. You hold in what you want to say. So in that respect, you're actually not being fully authentic to yourself. And this is a learned behavior. So why is that? Why is the Hangman energy here for Capricorn? One more shuffle here, please, and thank you. Okay. We have the Three of Pentacles. Look at that. The Three of Swords and the Five of Cups. Bottom of the deck, the Sun card. I think some of you, and maybe it's based on past experiences. Well, I presume it's based on past experiences. Whether it goes all the way back to your childhood. I mean, it could be. I have no indication of that in the cards, but the Sun card does depict the baby, depicts a child here. So maybe for some of you, it goes back to childhood. For others of you, that Sun card to the Nine of Cups, maybe you came from a very large family. Like maybe you had a lot of siblings or a lot of cousins or a lot of family members around. If the childhood portion here is resonating for you, I mean, regardless of how big your family is, there was something here of like, I always had to keep the peace. I never wanted to be the one to be unfairly judged. I didn't want to hurt anyone. I didn't want to look like the bad guy. I didn't want to make anyone feel bad. So if this is a learned behavior from childhood, you learn to suppress what was really bothering you, because it was like, I was taught at an early age to just keep the peace. Like, don't be a troublemaker, Cappy. There you go again, Cappy. And somewhere along the way, that became a learned response, but you actually didn't learn how to properly, I don't want to say properly, but I guess properly vocalize what was really bothering you. And now as an adult, you continue that behavior of just taking it in until boom, it's like, a bomb of words goes off basically. For others of you, you had one, could be more, but I'm looking at more like one really big connection in your life that when you did speak up, you did voice concern, either about your needs being neglected or, you feeling emotionally abandoned or rejected by your person, or, I got a lot of threes here on the table. Maybe it was a third party and you confronted your person on cheating or having someone else. And that led to the end of that connection. And it's almost like now you're psychologically wired to, I can't say what I really want to say when I want to say it, because the last time I confronted someone, that relationship or that marriage ended tragically or ended terribly. It's like you're taking all of the blame for the ending simply because you spoke up. It's almost like you're not putting any of the blame on the person for what they actually did. So take the message how it resonates to you. For some of you, it's embedded in childhood, where you were kind of told to like be quiet and stop complaining and keep the peace. And so that's what you try to be now as an adult. And for others of you, you had a pretty significant connection in your life come to an end, possibly due to adultery or something like that. And you almost blame yourself for it because I shouldn't have said anything, or if I would have handled it differently, I don't know, they wouldn't have done that, or they wouldn't have left, or the relationship wouldn't have ended. It's like you take full culpability for what this person did or how the relationship ended, and now you're afraid to speak up. So you ignore the red flags. You don't discuss the burdens that you experience in a connection or what the person has done to, what they have done to hurt you. And you suppress and suppress until you kind of just blow up. And then it looks like, then you come in with like, in the Five of Swords here, it's like, after you throw all these daggers and the fight is over and the person is wounded and they walk away, it's like, then you reflect back to everything that transpired and you come in with an apology. And then you want to work on healing the connection and moving the connection forward. But that's not a healthy way to communicate in a relationship. I see you being apologetic and remorseful after the fact, but this should have never happened. And not because you shouldn't have voiced concern. It's you shouldn't have had such a long delay until you voiced a concern that it ended up not being one concern. It ended up being, 101 concerns. That's why you erupt like a volcano. So there's something here about you learning how to speak up at the first red flag or the first time the person crosses you, instead of holding on to, 1 month or 1 year or 30 years of pain and then, erupting recklessly. So let's get 3 cards of advice here for you. How can Capricorn begin to heal this pattern within themselves, because you can master this. The Eight of Pentacles is a card of self-mastery, and the Eight of Wands is communication. So you can heal this wound and master yourself, right? This is, again, I'm going to start as an apprentice. I'm going to look at this wound. Where did it come from? And very diligently focus on almost reprogramming yourself. So in the future, you can communicate in a healthier way, and like nipping things in the bud when they first happen. Notice like on the Eight of Wands, there's like little leaves budding. So it's like at the first sign, then you can communicate in a healthy way, as opposed to leaving it all bottled up inside. Because when you leave it all bottled up inside, and you have a reason to explode, right? You got 101 reasons you've been holding on to. But then the other person looks at you and says, oh my God, you're irrational. You're crazy. You have multiple personalities. You know, they throw out all of these labels or perceived negative labels to you. And it's like, no, I'm just a Capricorn who's completely fed up because I've been dealing with 1 year, 10 years, 30 years of your bullshit. Like, so I kind of get where you're coming from. I'm not condoning how you're handling it, but I understand where you're coming from. But again, this is rooted in you not speaking up when the issue first appears. And that's what we need to heal. So how can Capricorn begin to heal this wound within themselves so they can communicate better in the future? What's this first step here? One more shuffle here, please, and thank you. I think I just saw the Page of Cups. Maybe it was the Page of Swords. Queen of Swords, Ace of Cups. I love this advice for you. Knight of Pentacles, bottom of deck, strength. Having the strength and having the courage to communicate effectively from a place of love and from a place of being very grounded. The moment something disturbs you, or, you know, rubs you the wrong way, or there's something here, and I do this with my person. I got to say, we have great communication, and we've grown a lot together in the last, you know, all of these years that we've been together. But the one thing that we always consistently do is we nip it right in the bud. We don't allow anything to get to volcano, because we both had that in our marriages, and it's like, that's not something we want to repeat, you know, again now in our relationship. So there's something here about the moment something buds, and like I said, I just actually just did this yesterday to him. I said, last weekend you mentioned ABC, and I'm a bit confused by it, and I'm just wondering if you can clarify it. And it was like the day after. I think he said something like on Friday or something like that. Could have been Friday or Saturday. And like a day or two later, I was like, can you just like clarify that? So I came from a place of love. I was looking for clarity and honesty, and I came from a very grounded place. It wasn't, you mother effer, you said blah, 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 it's Saturday. What? No, it's like, you said ABC, and I'm just looking for some clarity on it because I'm a bit confused on it. And he was like, oh, babe, yeah, this is what I'm about. So I took a very grounded approach from a place of love, voiced my concerns in a non-emotional way, and just said, I'm looking for clarity. And I think that's sort of the advice here for the Capricorn collective, is that's like the first thing you can master. The first thing to work on is when something rubs you the wrong way, the person says something that's off-putting, come from a place of being loving and grounding, and just ask for clarification. I think that's step one here. Having the courage and strength to do it. Don't look at it like, oh God, if I see something, they're going to be mad. It's like, no, this is what you need to master here for yourself. Because I think in other parts of your life, you show up as an empress or emperor. You're top game. But when it comes to actually calling something out in the moment it's happening, that's where you kind of go into this little turtle shell, and it's like, I'm going to pretend nothing's happening. But you can't pretend nothing's happening, because you're internalizing all of it, and you're literally creating a verbal volcano inside of yourself. So that's what I have for you, Cappy. If you resonated with this message, there's something here, and you can look this up online. There's a lot of self-help guides, valuable videos that I have found on YouTube and even Rumble about this. If this is a really huge communication issue for you, then obviously I would suggest that maybe you see a therapist or a counselor, and they do provide that online in most areas of the world. So it's something you could do in the privacy of your own home at a time that's convenient for you, in your space, when you have some private time to address this issue. But I think for most of you, it's probably something you can do on your own. But with that Eight of Pentacles, it'll have to be something that you're dedicated to and you're practicing working on almost every day. Because the Eight of Pentacles card for me is like, I'm going to work on this 8 days a week, even though there's only 7 days in a week, So it does require a lot of dedication if you're going to do this on your own. But I definitely think you can do it. You're represented in tarot by the Devil card, and the Devil card is Saturn and Capricorn. And so when you put your mind to doing something, you really do become a master of it. You get obsessed with success. So I would look at this as another objective or another plan or another goal you have. And I would be obsessed with having a successful outcome here and mastering this communication skill. And first step is definitely coming from a place of love and groundedness and asking for clarification when something just kind of catches you off guard. And this way you can begin to avoid these types of situations for yourself. That's what I have for you, Cappy. If you like that message, it resonated with you, you want to claim all or part of it, please be sure to click like, share, and subscribe. And until I read for you again, I am wishing you light, love, and peace. Hello, Aquarius. Let's see what the divine wants you to focus on at this time. Want. What do you want? What do you want, Aquarius? Let's see. Tell me more about this for Aquarius. We just saw the Nine of Pentacles and the Devil. Some of you want to be very successful, financially successful, independent, abundant, future focus. Tell me more about this for Aquarius. Some of you want to be free and independent of a particular situation, environment, or connection. It might be for one of you watching. Tell me more about this for Aquarius, Sun, Moon, Rising, as well as Venus. Bottom of the deck, King of Wands, baby. So there's something you want, and you want to go after it with, there's like fire in your belly to acquire this, obtain it. Tell me more about this for Aquarius, Sun, Moon, Rising, as well as Venus. One more shuffle here, please, and thank you. We have the Five of Cups. We have the King of Cups. We have the Ten of Cups. And we have the Page of Cups. Wow. Bottom of the deck, Ten of Swords, Justice, and Three of Wands. I got to take this too. Jesus. Two of Cups. That leaves the Empress, the Knight of Wands, Hierophant to the Tower at the bottom of the deck. I feel like I've tapped into a group of you where you want a healthy, happy, balanced soulmate connection in your life. Whether that means I want a professional business partner who I can collaborate with and won't screw me over and stab me in the back, Ten of Swords, or leave me feeling emotionally depleted, Five of Cups. It could be I want friends, a friend or friends, plural. Again, soulmate, soul bond connections where it's fair and balanced and there's an equal give and take. And when we screw up, we apologize. And then we go back onto our merry way and enjoy one another's company. And we avoid the, backstabbing and the lies and being two-faced and, leaving one another out in the cold and emotionally depleted and doing or saying things where, it leaves the connection basically in ruin. And same thing if it's a romantic connection. You're just looking for a soulmate that there's equal give and take. We have a future vision together. It's one we share. We move together in unison. I screw up, I apologize. You screw up, you apologize. But we have unconditional love for one another. And there's an understanding here that we both desire the same outcome, which is that our union leads us to complete and emotional contentment. I think I got all those messages that just came in. So that's what you're looking for. Regardless of the type of connection, you're looking for equal reciprocity and respect. And that we're all on the same page. And we can have our differences, but we should be able to air out our differences from a place of love as opposed to a place of pain. I think what you want is pretty basic. I think the 8+ billion people in the world could probably resonate with this reading, right? Because who wants Five of Cups and Ten of Swords? Backstabbing, betrayal, emotional loss, grief, regrets. So I think you're on par with what most people want. But I want to find out why it has been difficult for some of you to attain or obtain or even maintain that once you have it. So tell me about the Five of Cups here. Bottom of the deck, the Tower. Tower to the Wheel of Fortune. I think what some of you want is a soulmate, soul bond connection, whether it's professional, platonic, or romantic, that addresses an issue in the relationship with great clarity and from a place of great stability. I think what you don't want is someone, I just saw the Devil card. I think what you don't want is someone when there is an issue, they don't say anything, and they don't address the problem. There's an 800-pound gorilla in the room and no one wants to look at it and no one wants to address it. And then next thing you know, boom, there's a tower moment. It could be something, insignificant, but it's like, I'm done, hands are up, I'm walking out, whether that's you who reacts that way or them. And it's like, I don't want that anymore. I don't want those big dramatic endings to connections. I want to be in a relationship with someone who's an adult. You're showing up here in King of Cups energy, whether you're masculine or feminine. You're very emotionally balanced. And again, I think all you're seeking is, I don't even think that you're putting all the weight of I don't even think you're putting all of your happiness eggs in someone's basket. I feel like I've tapped into a group of you where you're like, I don't expect someone to be my sole source of happiness, but I expect them to add to my happiness. And so we create the 10 of Cups together, and not that they subtract from my happiness and leave me in the 5 of Cups. I think you're looking for someone who can communicate effectively and from a reasonable way. And if there's a problem, let's resolve it. Let's address it, as opposed to letting it blow up. One more shuffle here, please, Anne. Thank you. That 5 of Cups, we have the 7 of Pentacles, the 7 of Cups, and the 9 of Swords. Yeah, that's exactly what you don't want. You don't want someone who, when there's an issue in the relationship, they suddenly they suddenly start contemplating whether or not they want to continue investing in it. They get confused. They get up in their head. And all of this is something that they internalize. And again, the 800-pound gorilla in the room, no offense to gorillas that may be watching. I'm kidding. That's a joke. But yeah, no offense to the gorilla in the room, but we don't address anything until it all blows up. And then we walk away and the relationship is completely shattered. I think what you want are people in your life who can effectively communicate like adults when there's an issue. I also think that what you want is someone who wants you, and that's not a terrible want to have. So in respect to a love partnership, you want someone who wants you and only you the way you want them and only them. You don't want someone who's confused. You don't want someone who one day invests and the next day doesn't. You don't want someone who has options. You don't want someone who's confused, 9 of Swords in their head, that, I don't know if I want a long-term connection. Maybe I do, maybe I don't. Maybe I want it with you. Maybe I do, maybe I don't. Like, I just feel like you're looking for a consistency. Yeah, 10 of Pentacles. I want someone, this is the vision that you have. 10 of Cups, 10 of Pentacles. I want long-term stability and emotional contentment. And I want someone who will build that with me and not play games and not discuss issues and leave them unresolved until they build up and explode. I don't want someone who's inconsistent or has options. I want someone who's in it for the long run. So in other words, you're not looking for a knight or princess of wands. You're looking for a king or queen too to match you. Tell me about the Page of Cups here. Tell me about the Page of Cups here. One more shuffle here, please, Anne. Thank you. Page of Cups is being clarified by the Fool, the 9 of Wands, and the Wheel of Fortune. I kind of like this for you, the Star card, because I feel like this pattern that you have contributed to, don't take offense and click off, hear me out. I think for some of you, you've had several people in your life operate in this manner. And you've tolerated it and tolerated it and tolerated it. Like maybe you overlooked the red flags, or you put the love that you had for this person above your own needs at times. Like you didn't address things that maybe you should have addressed. I feel like in this new beginning for you, whether you're keeping this person or these people in your life and you're just sort of rebooting the connection with them, or you're looking for new connections, new friends, or maybe a new lover or something like that, I just feel like you're healing the pattern within you to tolerate anything less than what you want. I think that's what you're healing. And in this new cycle moving forward, you want someone who has, and they could be friends as well, but it's almost like I need people in my life where there are shared values and shared ideals, and we both know what we want out of this connection, and we're both on the same page. No more games, no more not addressing issues. And I feel the wound within you that you're healing is not addressing the red flags. Like, I'm not going to do that ever again. I like this for you. So yeah, whether you're keeping this person, these people in your life, or there's new people, I feel like moving forward, I'm surprised we haven't seen the King or Queen of Swords, or well, actually we do have the Justice card. I just think you're going to be very direct moving forward about, this is what I want. And it's almost like, this is what I want. Do you think you can deliver? Is that something you can provide me with? Because I can provide you with it. The King of Cups here is very confident. I'm very confident I can provide this, or I can do my best to try to provide it. Can you? I think that's moving forward. That's how you're moving forward in your soulmate, soul bond connections. This is what I'm looking for. Can you do it? Nope, I'm out. Okay, I'm out. See ya. You can? Great. Let's move forward together and see where it goes. Let's see how the friendship blossoms. Let's see how the love connection evolves. Tell me about the Two of Cups here. Where are you headed, my love? One more shuffle here, please, and thank you. Where are you headed? Nine of Cups, strength, and the Ace of Wands. I love this. A whole new way of doing relationships from now on. No longer holding back, no longer settling for less, no longer, not addressing the red flags, no longer ignoring the 800-pound gorilla in the room, no longer assuming that this, other individual wants exactly what you want out of the connection. So you're moving forward looking for soulmate, soul bond connections that kind of have to check off these boxes. I look at the Nine of Cups card as not as a litmus test, but these are my wants and needs, my requirements basically in a relationship. And I think that's actually someone who comes from, if you have that, you're coming from a very healthy place in a relationship. I had a discussion with a girlfriend about a year ago, and I asked her what she wants, in a partner. She was single at the time. And so I asked her, like, well, what are you looking for? And she's like, well, he's got to be 6 feet tall or taller. And I'm like, okay. Because I was actually reading her cards for her. And I was like, so what are your 9 cups? Like, what are your 9 check boxes? Well, he's got to be 6 feet or taller. He's got to make X amount of dollars a year or more. I really like him to wear gray cologne. It was all like superficial shit, to be quite frank with you. Not that, you should be dating a bum who, has terrible personal hygiene and doesn't have a job. I mean, if that's your preference, good for you. I'm not going to judge, but most people don't want someone like that. But it was all superficial stuff. And it wasn't like, I want someone who's committed to a long-term connection. I want someone who has great conflict resolution skills. Like my person and I started dating very early on. And he was like, so what are you looking for in a partner? And one, I thought that was very adult of him to ask, right? Showed me a level of emotional and psychological, right, mental maturity on his part. And he was like, so what are you looking for? And I was like, well, I want someone who has great conflict resolution skills. I want someone who's comfortable being vulnerable with me. I want someone who has their own passions and hobbies that they wish to pursue, because I want to support my partner in those endeavors. And so we had such that conversation on that night. It just for me solidified that, like, he's my person. He's, however long this is going to take, I'm locked onto him and he's my person. And I think he felt the same way about me. And do we want a partner who, has great sex appeal or maybe is great in bed? Sure. But that was not in the top 5 of our list. Those things are very important to us. And I'm glad that we still have that magnetic attraction and connection all these years later. But we both were kind of on par with what we were looking for in a person. So I think moving forward, your advice here seems to be to have that open and honest conversation to make sure you are on the same page and have a realistic, I hate to say litmus test, but that's what I keep being told, but I don't think it's a litmus test. I think it's more like be very realistic with these check boxes that you want. Do you want someone who's attractive and has a great job? Yes. But at the end of the day, you should want someone who's emotionally balanced, someone who can express themselves, someone who remembers the little details, someone that kind of has the same vision for their future, and they include you in that vision, or it's a shared vision between the two of you. So that's what I would create, and then have the strength and courage and fortitude to move forward in these new connections, to have that conversation. And the Ace of Wands is the beginning, right? The Ace of Wands is, all aces in tarot are the potential. So it's like when it's just a budding relationship, whether it's professional, platonic, or romantic, it's important to have that very honest and truthful conversation, so you know whether or not you want to move forward in the connection. And that way you're not blindsided later on by people who suddenly don't know. And it's like, no, you kind of knew they didn't know from the beginning, but you were ignoring it and hoping they would catch up to you. Yeah, we don't have time for that anymore. The clock is ticking. We're getting older by the minute, right? So that's what I have for you, Aquarius. Moving forward, it looks like most of you will be a little bit more, I don't want to say authentic, but a little bit more precise and clear about what it is you're looking for in a professional relationship, in the construct of a friend or like a friend group, or maybe even family, and definitely here within love. And I think you will be bold and brave enough to have these conversations very early on in the connections. And like I said, if we're on the same page, bravo, we move forward. And if not, I wish you well. And we just go our separate ways. But I kind of feel like no more wasting time here. It's time for you to focus on what you want and connect with people who want what you want. That's what I have for you, Aquarius. That is your message from the divine of something you need to focus on at this time. If you like that message, it resonates with you, you want to claim all or part of it, please be sure to click like, share, and subscribe. And until I read for you again, I am wishing you light, love, and peace. Hello, Pisces. If I can get the cards in there. Okay. Hello, Pisces. Let's see what the divine would like you to focus on at this time. And we have action needed. So you need to take action on a particular situation, environment, or connection. 7 of Pentacles. You've been sitting on something for a long time. Do I do it? Do I not do it? Time to take action. And that might require you to have to step out of your comfort zone a little bit. 5 of Cups and the Magician. I feel like if you don't take any action, you might end up regretting it in that 5 of Cups energy. If you take action, it's almost like then you're co-creating with the divine in the Magician energy to create the ending or the conclusion that you want, or the goal that you want here. Tell me more about this here for Pisces, Sun, Moon, Rising, as well as Venus. Definitely a time for the Piscean collective to step out of their comfort zone. Bottom of deck, Queen of Cups. Like it. And to do it in a very emotionally and balanced way. Look at that. To make a decision regarding some type of partnership in your life. You can't make it up. Lovers to the 2 of Cups here. All right. Tell me more about this here for Pisces, Sun, Moon, Rising, as well as Venus. What do they need to know? And please excuse my voice. I've been recording videos all day today. One more shuffle here, please, and thank you. 8 of Swords, 6 of Cups, 5 of Pentacles, Queen of Pentacles. Bottom of the deck, 3 of Cups, 2 of Wands. There's that 7 of Pentacles again. I'm going to take this also. Hangman and the World. I'm going to read this a couple of different ways. Group 1, you're in a situation, environment, or connection that is not changing. It's not healthy. You're trapped in your mind about it. You feel like you're trapped within this connection. This is either a situation or environment that you've been in for a long time, 6 of Cups, or this is it's either a situation or environment you've been in for a long time, 6 of Cups, or this is a connection that could be a soulmate, soul bond connection, or maybe you have some favorable memories or a bit of nostalgia, with this individual. But the fact of the matter is the connection is no longer healthy. It's the 2 of you are no longer on the same emotional page. There's feelings here of lack, abandonment, not feeling good enough, feeling left out in the cold. You kind of need to come at this from the Queen of Pentacles energy. Queen of Pentacles is very grounded and very decisive. It's the energy of an individual who looks out into the future, and all the investments they make, 7 of Pentacles, all of the investments they make in anything, they're looking at what is my return on investment here. And in respect to this situation, environment, or connection, you have to be realistic with yourself and say, if I continue to stay in this, what is my return for the investment of my time and love and commitment that I'm pouring into this thing? Because it's not making me feel very good. 5 of Pentacles. It could be affecting my finances for some of you. 8 of Swords. I feel restricted and trapped. I don't even feel like I could be my own authentic self. There's a need here in that respect for you to take action on your own behalf, to move towards happiness, and to close out whatever this is. If it's a living situation, time to Page of Swords, look at that Page of Swords to the Lovers. Again, 2 of Cups, but you need to take action, my love, on your own behalf. No one's coming to rescue you out of this. I hate to tell you that. Look, if I want 1 million subscribers, I'll sit here and candy coat every message. And 6 months from now, you'll be in the same crappy connection. And I will be the greatest divination abuser ever. Like, I feel like my mission here with doing these readings is to help all of us move forward in our life's journey. And some of you are stuck right now in something that you don't need to be stuck in. If it's a living situation, you can make the choice to take action on your own behalf and find and acquire for yourself a healthier living situation. And if you're dealing with a family member or a friend or a lover that's constantly making you feel this way, I don't care how long you've known this person or what nostalgia you have about them. That nostalgia is in the past. That is not how they're currently making you feel. And you need to really see it from another perspective. You know, instead of seeing it as time served, and I've known people like this in my life, they stay in connections. And I had a friend like this once. He was in a connection for like 10 years. There was nothing physical going on between him and the person. There was really no love or respect there. They kind of both started dating other people. But because they had kids, they decided it was like an unspoken thing. We're just going to ride this out until the kids are 18. And I kept saying to him, you are so freaking miserable. You're so miserable. And then I would talk to her and I'd be like, you're so miserable. Your kids are seeing this. You know, if you think they don't realize mom and dad are sleeping in different rooms, you're very mistaken. The kids are preteens. They're not stupid these days. And I was like, you kind of need to see this from another perspective, because the answer that she wasn't actually his wife, but I guess common law wife she was. But, you know, the one thing the wife said to me is like, well, we've been together 10 years. She was like, what's another 8? And I was like, oh my God, this is not a jail sentence. This is a partnership. This is a relationship. Neither of you are happy in it. It is affecting both of your finances, because you're both so drained from being in this miserable situation. You're not focused on work. So you're not, you know, achieving goals at work or advancing your career in any way. Your entire life is stuck and stagnant because you're in an incredibly unhealthy relationship. And the only reason you can give me for why you're still in it is time served. And I was like, oh my God, this is not a death row sentence. Are you kidding me? This is not 18 to life. You know, it's not Skid Row, honey. And I kind of was finally able to talk to them, and they ended up separating. They remained very good friends. They're both now in extremely healthy relationships with other people. The kids, I cannot tell you, are so much happier. I was so glad that I was able to help them go on their own journeys, because they were living in absolute misery. They're both doing 10 times better financially. He was really able to focus on his business. She was able to go back to school and get a degree, because they weren't bogged down with all the emotional junk. But the situation wasn't changing. And her idea was, well, if someone comes along and catches my eye, then she was looking for a hero. She was looking for someone to come in and rescue her. And I was like, honey, you got to be your own hero. You got to rescue yourself on this one. I think is she a Pisces? She might be a Pisces. She's either a Pisces or an Aquarius. But anyway, she had to see it from another perspective. And I share that story with you because if that message is resonating for you, you need to see this from another perspective. Your time is precious. Your love is precious. Your life is precious. Your dreams and goals are precious. And they need to be valuable enough to you that you're the one who decides to step out of your comfort zone and take the action required to chase your happiness. Because it's obvious to me as your tarot reader, it's no longer here. And being with someone X amount of years, that's not a reason to stay. Time served is not a reason to stay. Everything you had to learn from that connection, you've learned. You've graduated it. Congratulations. You got the diploma. Time to close it out. Now, you don't have to close it out, right? At the end of the day, you have the divine gift of free will. But I'll tell you what this is the equivalent of. This is the equivalent of going to high school. If you're in the United States, you go to high school for 4 years. You graduate high school. After high school, you can get a job. You can go to trade school. You could go to college or university, right? That's typically the routes that people take here in the United States. You're choosing to be a freshman and start high school all over again. You're not going to get any more knowledge. You're not going to gain anything extra. There's no advancement. You can repeat the cycle again, but you've already graduated. You've learned all the lessons. You've got the diploma. You want to go back to high school for 4 more years? Okay. You can continue to just waste time, waste the rest of your life. You can just keep going to high school. And then you'll wake up being a 70-year-old still in high school. So I don't want to be hard on you, Pisces, but there are some stragglers here in the Piscean collective that you're waiting for someone to rescue you out of a horrible situation. Baby, you're the only hero you need here. So that's message number 1. Message number 2. I have a group of you where you've gone through a lot, but you haven't quite healed the wounds. You completed a major cycle in your life and you learned some valuable lessons, but you never went back to heal the wounds. You kind of just like wrapped them up in toilet paper. I always say the Eight of Swords, like she's wrapped in toilet paper. You kind of like wrap them up in toilet paper. Then you're like, okay, we're going to move forward with this other relationship or this other friendship. And I'm not going to go back and deal with these wounds from the past, but you need to heal. You need to take action on your own behalf and make the choice to heal these wounds, because the new connection in your life, or the new connections coming into your life, whether it's just friends, platonic connections, you're going to go out and socialize, or you have a love partner, or you're on the precipice of meeting this love partner, this, although you've learned the lessons and you completed the classes, bravo to you, because you didn't heal the wounds, they have the potential here to negatively impact this relationship or relationships for you. So we kind of have to go back to summer school on this one, if I'm still using the high school analogy. It's like you're just a credit shy from graduating. So we don't have to do the whole 4 years over again. And we can still look forward to freedom and future, be very future focused there. 2 of Wands, 3 of Cups. But we kind of have to go back to summer school for a little bit to address the wounds. Yeah, if I'm using the school analogy, thank you for that. That would be the best one that I can give you. So let's get some advice here for Pisces and like group 1 there, where you need to step up and take action on your own behalf. Actually, I want to know why very quickly. What's the time on this? Okay. Why are you staying in this? Why are you waiting for a hero? I'm hearing that song. I need a hero. Why? Why do you need someone to rescue you? You're the Queen of Pentacles. I mean, you have everything you need. You're more grounded and stable than you realize. And you're more capable than you realize. And yet you're not confident in your ability to change this. Why is that? One more shuffle here, please, and thank you. Why do you think you're not confident enough to exit this? The Lovers, the 10 of Cups, and the Ace of Swords. Bottom of the deck, 2 of Swords. You wanted this to be everything. You wanted this to be the friendship or the family or the love partner that was going to be in your life for the rest of your life. And it's almost like, I don't want to believe that it can't be that. But it's proving to you that it's not that. And you don't want to see it. 2 of Swords. And the 2 of Swords card, the individual wears a blindfold. It not only covers their eyes, it also covers their ears. And in addition to that, this individual is wearing a hoodie. So it's really, I don't want to see it. I don't want to see that it's not the 10 of Cups. I don't want to hear that it's not the 10 of Cups. But the 2 of Swords is actually the moon in Libra. That's the astrological placement. So you don't want to see or hear that this is not the 10 of Cups. It's the 8 of Swords and the 5 of Pentacles. So for some of you, it's almost like, the feeling I get here is, this is everything I wanted it to be. If the divine wants me to go in another direction or be with someone else, then they'll bring that person in my life. And if they don't, it's like you're putting all the responsibility on the universe. They'll send me a hero. If I'm meant to be with someone else, they'll come into my life and then I'll know to leave this person. No, 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 no. That's not how it happened. That's not how it works. That's not a healthy transition either from one connection to another. There's something here about being grounded and stable on your own and not being codependent on someone else for your happiness. So I'm going to stay in this, and maybe it'll end up being the 10 of Cups. Maybe it won't. It's clearly not right now. But, you know, if the divine wants me to be with someone else, they'll just usher in someone new. That's just not how energy works. And I know you've probably seen other people go from relationship to relationship, but those are not healthy relationships. Those are rebounds after rebounds, heartache after heartache, and a hell of a lot of loneliness mixed into that. And that's not what you want, not what you're looking for. So there's something here about you taking the action needed to have a realistic conversation with yourself, Pisces, that this is way off balance. And no matter how much you want it to be one thing, you need to be real with yourself in that Ace of Swords and admit that it's not. The cycle is over. Let's get advice for Pisces in that group. What's the advice for them? So now I understand why you're up in your head, because it's like, nope, this is what it was supposed to be, and this is what I want it to be, and it just has to be that. And time served. I put a lot of time in this. I'm not going to walk away. I'm not going to start over at another age. Get busy living or get busy dying, my friends, because this is not changing. Because if this was the Lovers and the Ten of Cups and the Ace of Swords, and it was authentic and honest and emotionally balanced and emotionally fulfilling, why are you feeling the Five of Pentacles in almost every reading I do for you? I have no bias for or against Pisces at all. But I have to read the cards the way I see them. Let's get 3 cards of advice here. One more shuffle. Thank you. 3 cards of advice. The Moon, 6 of Wands, and the 3 of Pentacles. Bottom of the deck, Justice. This is Libra energy, and this is Libra energy. This is not seeing this situation, environment, or connection for what it truly is. This is having the honest conversation with yourself and seeing it for what it truly is. And overcoming those doubts, fears, and insecurities to move forward and have victory in rebuilding your life anew, away from whatever this is. So you can finally find your happiness here in the Sun card. 10 of Cups and 10 of Pentacles. And don't allow time served to be a reason. A connection, a relationship is supposed to be 2 people who come together and have the same goals and ideals and vision, and they work together like a collaborative unit to make that dream a reality. Someone here, your counterpart, stopped doing their part a long time ago, and spending another X amount of years waiting for them to come back and realize that they need to start working on this again is not the answer. And I think if you listen to your intuition, you are the most intuitive sign in tarot. I kind of think you know that already. That's what I have for you, Pisces, in group number 1. Group number 2. You finished a class, you graduated, you moved on, you got accepted to university, just an example. You're making new friends, you have new love in your life. We have to go back and do a little summer school work here. What's the summer school work here? It's like clean up in aisle 5. Then we can move forward. Some of you are already in this connection, whether it's with friends or with a lover. And you're on the precipice of moving forward. 2 of Wands, like to advance this connection or partnership or, or friendships, like whatever this is for you. But before you invest any more in it, Divine's not telling you to stop investing. It's telling you to pause. Let's pause and go back to the lesson or lessons from the past. Lovers, let's make the active choice to heal this so it doesn't affect this beautiful connection or connections that you either have or you're literally about to meet. So tell me about that group. What do they need to know? One more shuffle here, please, and thank you. The Magician, the King of Pentacles, the 8 of Wands, bottom of the deck, 4 of Cups. Wow, 4 of Cups, 8 of Cups, a Tower. You never fully healed from this ending, even though you've moved on from it. For some of you, this was a marriage or a long-term commitment, or someone that you had shared resources with. This could even be like parents that maybe you have since separated from. Take it how it resonates to you. But there's something here about you healing this wound of being neglected, this wound of not feeling good enough, this wound of being like emotionally rejected by this person. If you don't heal this wound, it's going to become a trigger in the future. And the first time you have a big disagreement with this person, it's going to trigger a Tower moment. Because your reaction is going to come from a place of pain. You might actually accuse this person of doing something they're not doing, but because you didn't heal this wound, you assume that what they're doing is like what the past person did. So you're existing in this connection, or you will be existing in this connection in the future, waiting for the shoe to drop, waiting for the next shoe to drop. Yeah, in the 5 of Pentacles, this person's only wearing one shoe. I want to look at the original Rider-Waite-Smith Tarot deck. There's something there with waiting for the shoe to drop. Five of Pentacles, yeah. Missing a shoe. I got a shoe on this foot and only have like a sock or something on this foot. So waiting for the other shoe to drop. Thank you for that. I didn't even notice that. So, yeah, you're gonna constantly exist in this relationship on the edge. And it's not a good edge. It's not like on the edge of glory. It's on the edge of, oh my God, any moment this person's going to cheat on me. This person, let's say you move in with them, Two of Wands, we move forward and we're living together and it's 7 years down the line. And this person comes home late from work by an hour and they can't explain it. Or maybe you tried calling them and they didn't answer. Instead of calmly addressing it when they get home and have the person say to you, oh my God, you're not going to believe this. I left my phone at work and then I had to drive all the way back. So obviously I couldn't call you. And then by the time I got back to work, the phone was dead and it charged on the way home. And I'm so sorry. And then you could be like, okay, you're going to automatically presume this person is cheating on me, just like this person. It's the same red flag. I remember when I was trying to call him or her, they weren't answering the phone. Because the wound is unhealed, you might unfairly, now I'm not telling you to ignore every red flag in the future in a relationship, but you'll be more prone to maybe seeing red flags that aren't really there, or accusing the person of red flags that aren't real, that don't really exist, because it's coming from a place of, the last time I ignored that, I was cheated on, or I was betrayed, or I was left out in the cold, I was neglected. And so something's got to be going on and you're probably cheating on me. And it's like, so even though right now things might be good, we're moving into the future and we're celebrating, we're going out and it's dates and it's fun and it's flirty. And this could even be in the construct of a friend group. If we don't address this down the road, this becomes a problem. The moment this person is human, you're going to see it as they're effing me over again. The first time they can't explain where $50 went, you're going to think they're cheating you out of money. Five of Pentacles, of like that's something that happened in the past. So there's something here, honey, about going back and fixing this within you, really looking at this. And for some of you, might require therapy. And there's nothing wrong with that. I did 18 months of it after my marriage. And I show up as a much different Jen in my relationship now than I probably did in my marriage. So it definitely did help me a lot. And I'm not saying you have to go for a year and a half, but some sessions might help you, in addition to some self-help as well, maybe journaling as well, talking out your feelings to a friend, but it's going to have to really be a very trusted, stable friend, not someone who just yeses you to death, but there's definitely something here about you going back and healing this, especially if there was a lot of manipulation in this other relationship. Like the Magician to the Eight of Wands could be someone who like gaslit you or led you on or strung you along. There's something about healing that. And I would be honest with this person the same way I was honest with my boyfriend. I had to be honest. And the first time I caught myself being triggered, I left a marriage June of 2020, and October of 2021. We had a very, very small incident, but to me it was like tower moment. And he was like, what are you doing? Like, we're so good. And the next day I was like, I started online therapy sessions, and he was like, okay. And I was very open with him about it. And I've not had that incident again. I'm not telling you it's going to be a 100% fix, but I had to heal this, or I would have spent however long I have him in my life, almost automatically accusing the guy for things he's not doing. So I'm telling you from someone who's been there, please heal this, because I think you got something pretty amazing here, or at least the potential for it, even in platonic connections. And I don't want to see you potentially lose this person or these people because of what this dirtbag did to you. No offense, cross-watching dirtbag. Okay. So, I want to talk to you like a friend, so that I would heal this. I'm going to just take a peeky at that card. Yeah, Nine of Swords, Eight of Swords, Nine of Swords. For some of you might require therapy, and there's nothing wrong with that. And there's a very, very affordable online sessions, regardless of where you live in the world. Seriously, like I met this one woman, and like we had the same day and time, because she was reaching her client base went from South Africa to France. She had like a woman in Moscow. I mean, she was literally global. Just this one woman from her Brooklyn apartment with like 40 years of degrees and experience, helping all these people around the world to heal their own wounds. I mean, she's an amazing person. I still keep in touch with her now. But so yeah, I know that there are therapists out there that are very affordable. You can do it online. You pay as you go, even if insurance doesn't cover it. There's lots of these individuals who will do payment plans with you and stuff like that. You can do it in the privacy of your own home where you feel very comfortable. I would definitely look into it if you feel that you need that. If you think you could heal it on your own, then please make the time, real 8 Pentacle energy investment into addressing this. Let's get 3 cards of advice for you, my love. One more shuffle here, please, and thank you. The Sun, the Queen of Wands, and the Two of Cups. Please take the inspired action. Oh, I just got chills. Empress here. Ace of Swords. Please take the inspired action to do a little bit of the summer school work here, so you can move towards this very happy and healthy and balanced soulmate connections that are coming into your life. And for some of you, it is a divine counterpart, whether they're masculine or feminine. Yeah, time to, like, let's make the judgment call. Oh, let's make the judgment call to address this so we can officially close out that chapter. You got the diploma, like I said. You're good to go. You're in the yearbook and all of that. You know, you're listed with the class of graduates, but we kind of just have to go back for a summer of summer school, a couple of months of summer school. But I think you'll be good. And most of you have a divine counterpart already in your life or well on their way to you. So let's heal this up so we don't ruin this relationship, because this actually looks really good. That's what I have for you, Pisces. That's the action that is needed by you at this time. If you like this message, it resonated with you, please be sure to click like, share, and subscribe. And until I read for you again, I'm wishing you good luck with this situation. Wrap it up. Be your own hero. And as always, I'm sending you light, love, and peace. Well, there you have it, everyone. The actions required or something you need to focus on at this time, as per the divine. I wasn't sure if I was going to do a collective reading for everyone watching, but I'm being called to do that. It's actually quite late here. It's a little after midnight, but I'm being told to do this, so I'm going to do this. Universal message now, please, for the collective. All signs, Sun, Moon, Rising, as well as Venus placements. What is something that we all need to work on or focus on in addition to these issues? Effect is at the bottom of the deck. What is something that we all need to work on? What is something we all need to work on? One more shuffle now, please, and thank you. Something we all need to work on. Present. Bottom of the deck, love and romance. All right, let's see what this is all about. Be focused on the present. Don't let the past dictate the future. Don't get lost in what will be or what's to come or what will happen or all the negative crap that we're literally being pelted by, even in the news, but even, you know, in our own little worlds. Be present in the moment. Be present in the moment. All signs, all placements. Bottom of the deck, Nine of Pentacles. Be grounded. Stay focused. Take care of yourself. Invest in yourself. Invest in your dreams and your goals. Focus on your financial aspirations. Be present. One more shuffle here, please, and thank you. Two of Swords. Five of Cups. The Devil. The Ten of Wands. Four of Wands. Seven of Swords. Nine of Pentacles wanted to show itself again. And then we've got the Emperor there. I feel like this is the past. Indecision. I don't know. Situations, environments, or connections that were unfair, because the Two of Swords is the Moon in Libra. And so this could talk about not acknowledging or not wanting to see situations, environments, and connections that are unfair, because if they're unfair, then we have to do something about it. I feel like that's what some of us did in the past, kind of like buried our head in the sand, or like this person's wearing, well, it's like a tree trunk hat, but the leaves are like covering the ears and the eyes. Like, I don't want to see it. I don't want to hear it. So I feel like in the past, some of us kind of buried our heads instead of addressing issues. Five of Cups, past disappointments, regrets, loss. Again, I feel like that was all in the past. The Devil, toxic connections, toxic environments, toxic patterns within ourselves, toxic traits that we had. Ten of Wands, carrying the load and the burden, not being able to see our way forward, taking way too much on. I feel like this is all, we need to leave all of that shit in the past. I've just got demonetized. But what we need to focus on is our happiness and stability. Four of Wands. Our victory, moving towards a new portal, staying in the present, enjoying the moment. These people are dancing on the roof of their house. I'm not suggesting that you do that. It's just a depiction here of like feeling on top of the world in the present moment, regardless of what my house looks like, regardless of the chaos I'm going through or the difficult time or what's happening in the literal world around me. Being present in the moment, being grateful for what we have, not sabotaging our future or sabotaging our independence or sabotaging our financial success or sabotaging the control or the control or like autonomy we have of our life and our future. I feel like all of this is in jeopardy if we don't stay focused in the present. And if we keep going back to the past, replaying the past, repeating the past, we risk losing this in the present. Stability, happiness, leveling up, moving into a new portal, right? The Four Wands is a 1111 card. Financial abundance, security, possibly a divine counterpart, or just being the emperor or empress of our own life. Yeah, Page of Pentacles. I love this. Like, stop and smell the flowers. So there's something about, it's not even being so much as future focused. This is being focused in the present. Don't let your past hold you back, and don't let your past sabotage your present. Page of Pentacles, Four of Cups. This is what we got to leave behind. And this is what we have to start doing. Gratitude, being grateful, literally stopping and smelling. I think these are peonies. I know the saying is stop and smell the roses, but it could be carnations even. I don't know. I'm not very good at flowers. I love receiving them. I love when he comes over with a massive bouquet. But I just call them pretty. I don't actually know their names, but yeah, stop and smell the roses. 3 cards for how we can leave the past in the past. It's a broad, that's a broad message. That's a heavy lift there, I know, but let's see what we get here. How do we leave the past in the past? King of Cups. Look at it realistically and in a way that we can look back at it and be emotionally balanced when we look at it and just say it was what it was, and not allowing it to dictate our present moment or ruin the opportunities that are currently before us. Take the lessons, not the pain. 3 cards here of advice. How do we leave the past in the past? One more shuffle. Thank you. 6 of Pentacles. Begin to invest in the future. Knight of Cups. Open, or in the present. Invest in the present. Open up your heart in the present. Justice. Stay balanced. Oh, I love this. Stay balanced. Stay fair. It's almost like believe that this was all for a reason. Take the lessons in that Justice card. So I'm asking, how do we leave the past in the past? Begin investing in the present. Open up your heart to the present. Nurture yourself in the present. And believe. I kind of have a twofold message there with the Justice card. And some of you are not going to like hearing this. But some of you had to go through that because you had to clear out some karma. Whether it was karma, and I'm going to say we, because I'm in that group as well. It was either karma we created in this lifetime or karma we had from another lifetime. It could even be like familial karma or generational karma within our family. So some of us went through all of those things, but we were clearing karma. Now we have to be focused in the present, and we've got a clean slate. But if we bring that residual garbage with us, we're now tarnishing our present. And there's no need to do that because the lessons have been learned and the debt has been paid. The second message that I'm getting off of that Justice card, same kind of thing of invest in the present, open up your heart, love yourself, nurture yourself, and know that you are now on the right path. This is now the right path for you. This is fair and this is balanced. Or you're presently on your way to it. Don't allow your past to hold you back. No more in the 9 of Swords. What happened? Why did they do that? It is what it is. I'm taking the lessons. I'm healing the wounds. I'm going to invest in myself, stop and smell the roses. And I'm going to be grateful for where I am today. And almost be grateful that you were able to clear out that karmic debt. Because now in the present, you could fully live and enjoy your life. And if you're not here yet, you will be here soon. But there are some things you got to leave behind. Situations, environments, connections, or just the wounds from them in the past. 3 cards here for the present, please. Advice or anything else you want us to know about the present? We'll do a sneak peek into the future. One more shuffle. Thank you. Present. 5 of Pentacles. Ace of Cups. 4 of Pentacles. Oh, I love this. Queen of Cups. Remember, so that King of Cups, Queen of Cups. Five of Pentacles. All is not lost. Whatever you've gone through, look, there's still something growing here. All is not lost, regardless of how difficult it's been, or the financial ruin you've had, or people that have left you, or people who have abandoned you. You have new financial opportunities growing and budding and being presented to you. You have new connections growing now in your life. All is not lost. It's like winter had to come. You know, like when winter comes and it like everything kind of dies, but then spring, but then we move into spring and things start to bloom again. So it's like you have a second chance now. New opportunities are coming. They are blooming. And notice how she's looking into, she's standing in the present. I don't know if you can see it. She's standing in the present. She's looking into the future. She's not looking into the past. So this is us being in the present and looking into the future. No more looking back to the past. Ace of Cups, we're only looking for the new opportunities to love ourselves and new opportunities that we will love to incorporate into our life. Stability. Four of Pentacles, creating our own stability, holding on to our own stability, protecting our own stability. This is what we need to be focused on, and to do it from a place of love for ourselves. 3 cards for the future now. Little sneak peek into the future now. One more shuffle here, please, and thank you. Sneak peek into the future. The Hermit, the King of Cups, and the 4 Cups. I kind of feel like this is your choice, collective. Obviously, you have the divine gift of free will. You can take all of these lessons and move forward into the future, being a lot wiser, perhaps maybe coming out of a dark night of the soul. Some of you might still be going through that. And you can come out emotionally balanced and emotionally content. Or you could do none of this, and you could still be in the 4 Cups, commiserating and crying and kind of, you know, playing victim over what you've gone through. I feel like the choice is ours. 3 more cards on this, please. We can come out smarter and wiser and more emotionally balanced. Or we can just not take this advice and just continue to dwell on everything that we lost. One more shuffle, please, and thank you. Knight of Swords, Judgment, and 4 of Swords. It's our decision. We can move forward. We can make the judgment call. Judgment card is listening to the calling within. Make the judgment call to move forward and heal. That's the advice. Our future will be a lot more healed and a lot more fair and balanced if we can stay present. Just take the lessons and leave everything else in the past. So basically our future is we can be 4 Swords, a healed version of ourselves, or 4 Cups, the victimized version of ourselves. The choice is ours. And the way we end up in the future will be determined by what we decide to do in the present. We either decide to heal or we decide not to heal. That's what I have for you, collective. For those of you who want to heal, it's time to master ourselves in the 8 of Pentacles energy. That is what I have for you at this time, what the divine would like all of us to work on. If you enjoy these messages and if some of them resonated with you or maybe just found them to be helpful or even hopeful, please be sure to click like, share, and subscribe. Thank you for putting up with my scratchy voice. I've now done 13 hours of readings today, so I do appreciate you putting up with us. And until I read for all of you again, I wish you a lot of luck with all of this. And of course, I'm sending you light, love, and peace.